Let's see, is this working now? Is it working now? Is it working now? Is it working now? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Sounds like it's working. Oh, wait, we got to do something else here now. Come on, come on, come on. There's so much stuff you have to do. Come on, there's so... All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hi, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. You guys, if you guys weren't here, it would be completely meaningless. 100%. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, hi, it's UTN. What's up, girl? La 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 la. No camera. Oh, it was on. It's supposed to be on. Is the camera on Twitch not on? Why, do you like Twitch better? The stream that I started on, the first stream that I started, the audio was fucked. So maybe the Twitch feed has that. I don't know. Someone else is paying attention to the Twitch. What am I doing here? What are we doing? What are we all doing here? I guess none of us are here, so it's just you and me. Just you and me, girl. Oh, there's somebody. Hello, hello, hello. What's up? Hey, I'm glad you're here. It is so much nicer when you're here, so you know. I'm glad to hear that you are here. Okay, so you guys get this? Like, I start the camera, I start the live feed, and like the last 3 nights, the audio has just been completely fucked, right? So, and it's not on my end, because it's not like I unplug the camera or restart the computer or anything. I just restart the page and it comes up and works properly. But I have to do it twice. And this is just another form of YouTube censorship, because they want you to jump through these hoops to get your live stream in place, and then okay, I got the date right, I got everything up the way I want it to be, and then the audio is all fucked up. And unless you turn on the audio and listen to it, or someone tells you, you might not even know the audio is fucked up. So you're doing your thing and you're going and it's going, and you're thinking, all right, I'm doing my live show just like I was planning on doing. I'm making happen what I intended, and then it's fucked because of YouTube. And then you have to fucking jump through all these hoops, right? You got to put the title, you got to put the date, you got to put everything to get it back to where it needs to be again, to start it all up. And that's just a form. How many people just go, fuck it, I don't want to jump through I don't want to jump through all those hoops again. It's another way YouTube is censoring people. That's how sucky YouTube management is. They really don't want you. They really don't want content providers. Unless, of course, you're some fucking drone who never spoke out against anyone, ever, anywhere. Then maybe you're welcome. But that's not who we are, is it? We are a whole different breed from that, aren't we? Okay, so let's see. So I was so disappointed last night that there was no South Park after the show. I'm like, okay, did another show. Got it done. Because I was late because there was somebody at the door when I went to start the show. So I had to like mess around with some other stuff, and then I came back and I'm like hurrying to get the show started, and then the YouTube the application screws up again and the audio is wrong, and I have to start it again, and I'm like so I was late, and it's like and then I did the show, we did 2 hours last night. I don't want to do too much more than 2 hours, especially if we're not getting phone callers, because 2 hours of me rambling on is more than plenty. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm real good.
Who is this?
My name's Mac.
Hey, Mac?
Yeah.
Hey, Mac. Nice to hear from you.
You keep it real, and I like that. I want just your opinion, How do you feel about this global currency reset, or possibly just what you would think about the dinar? And I'll hang up right now, but keep up the good work. Keep saying what's in your mind, and if they shut you down, morph into another channel and come back at us. Okay? Thank you.
That's what I do, man. Thank you for calling. Okay, so a global currency reset. I have no idea what that would look like. And I don't know what's going on with the dinar. If there's something happening that that I should know about, I don't know right now what that is. But a global currency reset, this is one of the things where this is what I keep saying, is we all have to come together. There has to be a global reset, but I don't know exactly. I don't know how a global currency reset would work. So I'm not the person to speak on that. We have to have a global humanity reset, where we all come together and we say, these are the priorities for humanity. Because right now, the priority for humanity is me grabbing all I can for me. That's the priority of humanity right now. Okay, and that is not going to turn out well. Okay, I mean, I get it. You've been programmed more and more and more. Whoever has the most toys wins, right? I get it. I mean, there's everything on TV is the beautiful people with the beautiful cars and the beautiful clothes and the beautiful homes and the beautiful furniture, and all you want is your little piece of that, and that's completely understandable. Okay, the thing is, we're at this place where, in my life, I've always said, and my friends will back this up. Okay, I've always looked at them again and again, and some of you have seen me do this to callers and say, a man has got to have priorities, okay? And the problem here is this whole grab all I can for me, all get all the stuff I can for me, is never going to work for this species. Okay, this is going to be the end of this species. Okay, we must have other priorities, in which we say basically we want grab for everyone, Hello, caller.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. That's the Bing Bong Man. He is the Bing Bong Man. I'm going to write a song about you, Bing Bong Man. He's the Bing Bong Man. Bing bong, bing bong. Which I don't know what the heck that's about. So I'd probably write a song like that, and somebody would flag it as being racist, and I'd be kicked off YouTube, because YouTube is so fucking bullshit, has so teeny, the smallest amount of integrity possible. All YouTube cares about is how much money they can squeeze out of this project, instead of building the greatest platform for mankind to express itself ever. They don't give a fuck about that. Okay, they just want to squeeze as much money as they can out of everybody, making you watch stupid commercials about stupid shit that is the last thing that you need in your life. Okay, everything that's advertised is bullshit. If it was actually a good product, it would already be in your home and you wouldn't need to have it advertised. You go, oh, this is good. I like this. I want this. And every time you went to the store, you wouldn't think, oh, I saw this stuff advertised on TV. You'd be like, oh, I like that stuff. I gotta get more of that. You don't need advertising is bullshit. Okay. In my world, part of the priority would be making advertising illegal. How do you like that? No advertising worldwide. You guys, wouldn't that be a so much better world? Okay, no more junk mail, no more like every page in your magazine being commercial, oh, a story, commercial, story, no more, 3 minutes of news and then 5 minutes of commercials. We have more important things to do with our time. There's absolutely nothing being advertised that you need to know about. Absolutely nothing, zero. If I was president, we just outlaw all advertising. That would be done. No more advertising. And your children would be so much better children. They'd be so much happier at Christmas time with what you gave them, instead of like every fucking vision that they have, expectation from every commercial that they've seen for the last 6 months. Christmas is coming. You know what that does to a child's brain? Okay, this planet would be 1,000 times better off without advertising. Plain and simple. That's all there is to it. And if I was president, that's what I would. And that's what you call integrity. Something more important than money. That's a basic definition of integrity. When you have things inside of you that are far more important than money. Because it seems like an awful lot of people don't have that anymore. There's Woolco. I've been like, where's Woolco? Man, I must have screwed up bad if Woolco's not here. Integrity. I was so disappointed when South Park didn't come on last night, Woolco. I was like, oh, man. I work so hard and then I don't get my reward. Speaking of which, my reward, anybody wants to kick down for a pizza? Actually, I am $20 away from starting my fucking garden. Okay, if I could get $20 more, I can start my garden. Okay, I can go buy dirt. I can go buy pH down, which I think I gotta have, and then I can start my garden. And I have fucking 60 award-winning strains from top-notch breeders around the world, and I want to share it with you guys. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. I just need $20, and I can go and start my fucking garden. Oh, Woolco, I went to the store today to get butter, right? And I have like a rain check for butter, right? And I knew it was expired, but the people at the grocery store, I'm kind of like they're I hear all the time, you're my childhood hero, right? The manager of the grocery store, she's like, you're one of my childhood heroes, and so I don't expect, when the rain check is expired, for them to make a scene, for them to say anything about it. They're like, oh yeah, no problem, man, because that's how I get treated everywhere. And then I give them this rain check, and this is expired. They're only good for 60 days. I'm like, well, I've been told that they don't expire. And she's like, yeah, fuck. So I didn't get butter today because it was like twice as expensive without the rain check. So, but I will get butter. I have to get butter in the next few days because I'm out of butter, and I'm not quite out of brownies, but I'm almost out of brownies. And that is not a good thing. This will not keep me moving forward. So we will be changing that soon. Bastards! All right, so let's see. Where were we? Integrity. Yes, that's correct. What does integrity mean to you? Again, it's this honor. Last night we were talking about honor and how there's really no honor left in the world. And it's so weird because when I watch a lot of like Asian movies, a lot of Chinese, Taiwan, Thai movies, and they're set back in like the 1,000 years ago, before there was cars, before there was guns, and I really love those movies. And I think a big part of that is because there's this sense of honor. It's like in the movies that we watch, the Western movies, there's a good guy and the bad guy, right? But the lines are really blurry. I mean, the good guys usually do a lot of really horrific, horrible, ugly shit, and but there's this sense of honor, like, it's like one of the things that I love about the kung fu movies, you hear these like little bits of philosophy in them, right? Like there's this one, the virtuous man cannot be defeated, right? And that's why they haven't been able to kick me off of YouTube, right? Because I'm not here trying to make money. I'm not here trying to be famous. I already got people calling me their childhood heroes. Okay, I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to get money out of you. I'm trying to do the right thing by the world. This is the biggest soapbox in the world, and I simply am trying to do the right thing by everybody. And that's the fucking truth. So, and that's why I have, the juggernauts, the CNN, the Fox News, the Russia Today, the C-SPAN, the juggernauts in the industry haven't been able to get rid of me, because I have something that's more important than money. I have something that's more important than manipulating this fucking audience or that fucking audience. I'm trying to do the right thing. And I know that I have done the right thing by so many people. So many people have said, you really opened my eyes. This was the beginning of my journey to awareness. So many people have said that. So many people have said, has just said so many positive things. I have known that this is important. Beyond being the right thing and, wanting to make something good happen, is actually genuinely important. And someone who has that, who doesn't care about money, who doesn't care about, fame or whatever, who's not looking for something for themselves, that person is very difficult to defeat. I don't have the agenda that if my agenda doesn't get accomplished, I'm done here. I mean, I really love to be able to get a $20 donation so I can start my garden. But if I don't get it, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be here tomorrow, because I love this connecting thing that we do. I the last couple of days, the callers have just been steady. I mean, not today, but the last couple of days, the callers have been steady, and the connecting. When we connect and we talk, it's just, you guys are so smart, and you guys are so aware, and you want to share with everyone else too. And that's the thing. That's why I've always said that it's you guys that make Mox News truly of value. It's you guys who, when you add your comments, you add so much flavor to it. It's you guys who add so much more to the news story than was actually spoken on the news story. And that's why I'm here doing this, so that, because YouTube is doing their best to censor you guys. Number one, they I can click on any video. It says it has 43 comments, and there'll only be like 20 comments when I go to the comment section of that video, or 12. Hello, caller.
Hey, Moss.
Yes.
Or Michael, whichever you prefer.
Yes.
Did you ever put up that peanut butter, or were you making
the coconut oil.
Now I'm going to use butter, but I didn't. I went to buy butter today at the store to make the butter. I haven't made the video yet, if that's what you're asking. I went to buy butter today at the store, and it was a little more expensive than I wanted to pay for it. Yeah. So I held off. I had a rain check, but they wouldn't honor it, bastards. So I held off.
You couldn't use margarine.
No, I don't think it works as well, honestly.
No, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So
Some of the joke, I guess.
what's that?
Is there any other fat you could use? You think?
Well, it's possible to use the coconut oil. It's possible to use olive oil, but I like using butter because I can make 2 or 3 pounds of butter and then just stick it in the freezer, and it's like good forever. Basically. It's hard to do that with olive oil.
Let's see. What's the title of your video?
Integrity.
What are we talking about here?
Integrity. What does integrity mean to you?
Who?
What does integrity mean to you?
Integrity, honesty,
That's part of it.
fucking owning up,
That's part of it.
and fucking trying to respect everyone the way you want to be treated.
That might be part of it too. I think you're pretty close there. I think it's really a matter of being able to feel like something might be more important than yourself. I think honestly, to have a priority that's bigger than stuff. You know what I mean?
It exists in most of us. Potentially, I think. So that's good.
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
530, California.
Oh, hey, California. Southern Cal, right?
Yeah, I got power.
Good. All right.
Maybe not in 2 days.
Oh, it looks pretty nasty down there, man.
Head your way.
I don't think it'll get here. We got the rain and everything.
Oregon had some pretty bad fires there a couple of years ago, huh? Not that bad.
Oh yeah. But I don't think they're like the ones in California. I mean, there was a bad fire.
Shut your power off. They're not gonna shut your power off and shit.
We have so much water here, dude. In Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys. Yeah. Are you off the coast? Or you said you're in Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
My geography's not the best. Is that that's the ocean? Or?
Well, there's the Puget Sound is right there, which is saltwater inlet. It's kind of like a giant bay, but it has a bunch of islands in it. Yeah. So
cool.
It's not really on the ocean, but it's there's a lot of water. That's all I'm saying.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That earthquake, all that water just goes somewhere else.
Yeah, no, they got they got the Puget Sound on one side of Seattle and Lake Washington on the other. And Lake Washington's almost as big as the Puget Sound. So
now, did you guys have an earthquake years back? That I'm a little young, I don't remember, but did Washington have a pretty big one?
Yeah, Washington has big ones every so often. There was one about 21 years ago or so. And yeah, I was downtown at the time, and it was a big one. I mean, it's like the whole. I lived in a 110-year-old apartment building at the time, and the whole place was bouncing. I was like, uh-oh.
Hey, that's American steel, though.
110 years old is probably American steel, yeah. Plus, nothing happened to the building, but it was bouncing like crazy.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
They don't build something like they used to.
Yeah, that's part. I think that's part of integrity too, which is what I've been saying. Is that there's more important things than money. You know, this is money, money, money. You know, stuff. This it's like
money.
no, but building something correctly that's going to last 110 years. It's going to house people for 110 years. That's fucking. You know, that's also. You know, that takes integrity to make something like that happen.
Yeah, and the you know, and fuck regulations or I'm a left leaning libertarian, but we do need some regulations. You know.
We need some. We just don't need the government crawled up our ass and in our bedroom and everywhere. You know what I mean?
I think they don't want third parties.
For sure.
We
What-
don't have the government regulating itself.
What's your name?
This is Beard.
Beer. Oh, hey, Beer. It's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you ready for another call or?
unless there's something you want to talk about,
Not really. I just want to call him and say hello.
I appreciate it, Beer. It's very nice to hear from you. I hope things are good
All
where you are.
Okay. Peace, love, community, respect.
Good deal.
Bye.
All right, good to hear from you. Okay, so tell us about microdosing. Oh, well, we got a microdose right here. How's that? Hello, caller.
Michael Knight, this is Dwayne. How's it going?
Good to hear from you, Dwayne.
Good. Hey, keep the microdose going. When you're ready, let me know.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, integrity, Mike. Last caller brought up lots of points. You brought up lots of points. How about integrity is to stand up for what you believe in, or if you say something, mean it and put it into practice in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you have children, you know, you want to drive through your neighborhood the way you want people to drive around your children. You set the example, right?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And if you're into all the stuff I'm into, if you're going to sit there and bitch about the school system, take them out of the school system. You know what I mean? That's integrity, because I didn't want my children raised in a, that my son can, my son, let's say his name is James, comes home and wants to be Julie the next day because the teacher said so. Then, integrity would be because that's not the way I want to raise him. I'm the leader of this home. So I'm going to take him out of the school system and raise him myself and educate him myself. You know what I mean?
But your son doesn't have any choice in the matter?
When he's 18, sure. If he's under my roof and I'm paying the bills, no, not really. When he's 18, he can do what he wants. If he's making his own living, if he's making his own money, he can be, whatever he wants to be.
Dwayne, don't you want your son to be whatever he wants to be, man?
Well, yeah, of course. But, instead of brainwashing him in the school that's okay for him to be a girl, I'm going to brainwash him at home and say, you're a boy. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like do boy things anyways, because look,
that's what hockey's all about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And even baseball. And I'm sure, did you see that whole thing about that? I don't even, that guy who's winning all the women's cycling events?
Yeah. That's a bunch of bullshit right there. See, that's a bunch of bull. It's one thing if you want to live your life as a woman, okay? That's fine. Go and live your life as a woman. It's another thing if you want to compete in physical endurance trials as a woman when you were born with the genetics of a man, because that is completely unfair. Men always have strength over women in most of these endurance trial type of things. That's just not right. So, in my opinion, I don't even know how anyone can think that's right. That someone that was born a man is competing as a woman at any kind of a top level. That's ridiculous. That's beyond ridiculous.
Especially in something like cycling. Like, look, Lance Armstrong, I know all the controversy with the drugs behind it, but look.
Well, let me say something about that too. I believe that professional athletes like Lance Armstrong should be able to take all the enhancing drugs that they want, because they're nothing more than performers. Okay, they're just entertainers, and we want our entertainers to be at the top level they can be. So if that's what it takes to be, to be a top performer, then go for it. I don't give a shit. But you know what? If that's the way it was, where anyone could take those drugs, and then someone came along who never took those drugs and kicked everybody's asses, people would truly be impressed.
Okay, perfect example. Usain Bolt. Okay, fastest man in the world from Jamaica for like 15 years. The guy's clean as a whistle, man. And Canada, 1988. Ben Johnson. Did you hear about him?
Yeah, he's like famous in Canada, right? He's like don't they have like a Canada Day about him?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry.
Okay. No, him and Carl Lewis in the '88 Olympics, where you can see their eyes are bulging out of their heads. They're just big red eyeballs. They were so juiced up on this stuff. And his time under those steroids is like 9.79, and then what's Usain Bolt doing? Like 9.49.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's on a bad day. So,
yeah.
I don't really like that, because then, I never got to watch, I was kind of, 5 years old when Reggie Jackson was, awesome home run king, hitting 40 home runs.
Yeah.
And then you got Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire come along and hit 75, 80 home runs. I don't know, man. And Barry Bonds, like, I don't think that stuff should be in the record books.
Well, I mean, but that's why it should be legal, because we don't know who's been taking what forever. Number one, and if those guys are performers, if they're entertainers, and if that makes the game that much more exciting, then why wouldn't they want to have the game be as exciting as possible? Because it's not like you have to think of the kids, because the kids, I mean, every fucking commercial break they're advertising alcohol or Victoria's Secrets.
Oh, Victoria's Secrets, really?
I don't
watch more TV.
I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with Victoria's Secrets, but
not at all. Not at all. My Victoria's Secret's in the tub right now. I can't wait for her to get out.
Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, Dwayne. Well, so what I want to ask you about vaccines. Okay, it's flu season, right? And I keep seeing stories about you got to get your flu shot. October is the best time to get your flu shot. Blah blah blah. Flu shot. And how they're making the vaccines like mandatory for all the kids now, if they want to go to school. No religious exceptions. No, you can't say I don't want a vaccine. You have to have them if you're going to enroll your kids in public school, right? Are they going to do that? You think they're going to do that with the flu vaccines for when for going to, if you want to work, you have to have a flu shot now?
You know what? I lost a job 2 years ago because of that.
Oh man!
But you know what? I was fine to just walk out the door and get another job, because I'm not playing Russian roulette with my life or my children's life over something like that. And you know what I have to say to what you just asked? If everybody would just go to the manufacturer's website and read the ingredients, and if you can name those ingredients, by all means, put them in your body. But if you can't name a single ingredient in there, except aluminum or formaldehyde, and you're playing Russian roulette with that stuff. Like that's what we did. We vaccinated our first 2 children. Our second child got injured, so our 4 youngest children have had 0 vaccinations, and they're never sick, Mike. Even with all the free health care in Canada, I never have to go to the hospital with my children. Yes, when my daughter put her finger in a grinder, I had to take her there for 3 stitches.
Do you have
And you know what the first thing? You know what that first thing that stupid ass doctor said to me? Is your daughter up to date on her vaccines? I smiled at him and I said, yes, sir. And that's another thing. You know, okay, is that integrity?
of course.
Because I lied to that doctor's face. I called him sir.
Yeah.
Okay, but I lied to his face because I absolutely am putting into practice what I believe in. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we're living in a police state where they will, they potentially take your children away for something like that. So
Oh, if I would have said no, she's never had a vaccine in her life.
yeah,
Oh my God, can you imagine what would have happened then?
yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
no,
important information, parents. You need to listen. You don't volunteer information. Okay, certain things are need to know basis, and the last thing, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent. I don't want to be a parent, but so Dwayne, do you have pets?
Yeah, I have 2 cats. I've got 12 chickens. I've got 2 geese, 8 ducks, and 3 rabbits.
No dogs, huh?
No, but I want to get a dog. I'm looking at getting a Doberman, honestly, or a German Shepherd, something that will protect my family, but then not, chew on their leg either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Dobermans are supposed to be extremely smart.
Dobermans, I was looking at Doberman first because, no matter what, those things look mean, but they can be super awesome, nice, right?
Yeah.
So
they're supposed to be extremely
not
smart,
Canada geese,
extremely intelligent also.
Wilco, they're not Canada geese. They are Dewlap Toulouse geese, and they're threatened and endangered. We have a male and a female. We tried all we could to mate them this year. They mated, but I think that there's something wrong with these geese that I don't know. They're probably threatened because I don't know, their sperm don't work or something. Like we bought a
chemtrails.
Yeah, Mike. Totally possible. Speaking of vaccines and chemtrails and all that stuff, there's this hippie couple living on Vancouver Island, out where you are. Okay, didn't vaccinate their children or anything, and then they went in to get the hair follicle test done. Okay,
for DNA or
no, a hair follicle test, which kind of we did that with our daughter who was vaccine injured, and her aluminum numbers were through the roof. Like, it was crazy. It was off the chart. And these people ended up having it off the chart for their daughter in Vancouver Island too. And I think it was they're saying it's the chemtrails, and I think the chemtrails are being put up there. Quite honestly, I think they're gonna. I'm a big Mark Dice fan, okay, and he talks about this Operation Blue Beam a lot. I think what they're going to do is, project. I think they're putting a big projector in the sky. This is my conspiracy shit coming out. Sorry about this, Mike.
Okay, it's okay.
But I think they're going to put a big projector in the sky, and either they're going to fake an alien landing or the second coming of Jesus.
Or maybe it'll be both. Maybe Jesus will come on a flying saucer.
Yeah, maybe the fake Jesus though, the ones like in the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Church and stuff to say it's okay to be a homo and have abortions. That fake Jesus people, yes.
Preach it,
real
Dwayne.
ones of the Bible, nah.
Okay, so I know the reason I ask about dogs was because I always see these stories all the time about children have dogs in the home are healthier. That's why I asked about pets, because I figured you say they never get sick, so I figure that's probably has something to do with it, you having pets, and because I think it has to do with the cats, the dogs. They touch everything, and then the kids touch on them, and it's like somehow that like builds your immunity against everything. You know what I mean?
You know what builds the immunity of my children? Not feeding them macaroni and cheese, not feeding them pop. My children have not had pop. Okay, like Coca-Cola. They've never drank pop before in their lives.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Dinner. Okay, and the eggs that come out of our chicken, the yolks are orange. They're not yellow like that shit that you buy in the store, man. They're orange.
Hey, don't give me a hard time about the shit that I buy, Dwayne.
I am sorry, sir. I mean,
No, I say that. I say that because my roommates always, or people, they always say, oh, I like this food, but it's bad for me, and I always tell them, no, that's good. This is good food for you. That's, if and because if you feel bad about what you're eating, then your brain's going to go, oh, this is bad for me and I need to produce, so I don't want to feel bad about my fucking eggs, Dwayne. Okay.
All right. But like, all right, let's talk about craft dinner. What cheese do you know comes in a powder? Like, seriously.
I have these potato chips, like
right?
the potato chips that you get, like nacho cheese potato chips. That's powder, right?
Haven't you seen the Cheetos burns?
No, what is that?
I saw some. There's so many petroleum products in the actual Cheetos.
Huh?
There's this guy on YouTube. I saw his video once where you can actually light the stuff on fire.
Wow.
So I wouldn't eat Cheetos if I were you, buddy.
Yeah, I really don't want to eat potato chips, but they taste so good. Oh my God.
You know what? Potato chips is a luxury in this house.
Yeah.
Man. Like I buy them once every 3 or 4 months. That's it, man. We eat healthy here. That's why our children are never sick and they never got vaccinated. Like seriously, this is such a healthy house. And I'll be totally honest with you. Look, I know I believe in Jesus, and prayer every day helps as well. I can't get off this call without saying thank you, Jesus, for giving me a healthy home. And you know what, Mike? I just had to call in. It's been 2 days, so I'm kind of behind the schedule here. But
we didn't see you yesterday.
No, I was white, man. I was so sore after work.
It's all good.
But,
man has got to have priorities.
Yeah, and mine's my wife and children, and just living, man, like living. It's awesome to just be a middle class Joe Sixpack, man. It really is. I'm sitting here drinking wine, listening to Mox News, and keep it up, eh?
I'm trying, Dwayne. I'm out here doing it.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Care. Peace, love, and happiness, buddy.
All right, back at you.
Bye-bye.
Tell Jane to say hi. Okay, so, and I like peace, love, and happiness. Peace, love, and happiness sounds like a good thing. And I hope that, we're all coming from different places. Dwayne's got his cats. I don't like cats. But, and I don't want my Boo Bears to be guards, but I don't have a family, I don't have kids that I need to protect. I don't have a wife that I need to make sure is safe if I'm not around. And that's by choice, I don't, those things take away, I don't know. Those things for me, they just haven't worked. It's just been like every time I tried to, make something happen with the woman, it's just been, you just want to make good things happen, and it's just fight. It's like, fuck that. I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to fight no more. That's all. I just don't want to fight anymore. So that brings us to here. Let's see. We are at 43 minutes and counting. This is my YouTube channel, Mox News, and we've been doing this. This is the 3rd week of the daily call-in show. I believe it's the 3rd week, or is it the 2nd week? 3rd week, 2nd week, 3rd week. I think it's the 3rd week, but I'm not sure. And it seems like it's going okay. It's a little slow here, it's a little slow there, but I think it's just a matter of being in place and reaching out to you guys, and there's going to be things we want to talk about. Right now, I'm juggling. I'm got different projects going every direction, so I'm trying to make sure this happens. This is a priority, to come out here live and touch bases with you guys. Make sure that if you have something that on your mind, that we can get that out into the discourse. Other than that, I have other. I'm trying to get this safest way to vape cannabis concentrates, video going. I'm trying to get the garden going. I'm only $20 away from having a garden. I have so many lovely strains of cannabis to grow. If I just had $20 more, and no one's donated. Not talking to you, Dwayne. Not talking to you, Wilco. Okay? Just saying. So close. We could be making so much. And that's the thing, you know, I'm not out spending money on hookers and cocaine. Okay? I don't even have a cell phone. The caller yesterday, we're talking about cell phones. He's saying, I never had a cell phone. I'm saying, I have a couple cell phones. You know, this was the last cell phone that I had. I actually have another one downstairs, but this was the last one that I had. And it cost me $10 a year. So, you know, if you donate $20, it's not going to my $50 a month cell phone bill. I guarantee it. But whatever, you know, it's going to start the garden, which I want to share with everyone. I want to go, ooh, look, we have a beautiful garden, because that would be so cool. But, you know, I'm trying to make it happen. I've reached out to a couple people about sponsorship for like dirt and stuff, and I'm not hearing back from them. I'm not sure why. Because you think that a couple bags of dirt would be worth, you know, 30 videos for advertising, right? But whatever, you know, we'll try again and again and again and see what happens when it happens. I'm here 16 years later, still here, okay? The juggernauts have tried to make me go away.
You press 1 to take this call.
Google's tried to make me go away. YouTube's tried to make me go away. Zero. Hello, caller. Zero
Hello,
success.
caller. How are you? I'm going to throw you down some money, man, because you're sitting there on my computer asking for money, and I know you probably put in a good 10 years of hard work, and you deserve it.
Thank you. You know, and that's the thing is like so many people, they call and they say, you know, I've been watching you for years, and and like on every video it says, you know, Mox News survives solely from people, good people like you, and it's like, and I would not ask. I would not ask if I didn't need it. I mean, if I was sitting on a pile of money, the last thing I would do is waste time talking about you guys need to send me money. You know, I mean, we got you can see that I have bigger fish to fry, and I'm trying real hard to get those fish fried, right?
Well, you're a true believer in my mind from what I see, and shit, I think I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I can swear I've been watching you for 10 years. You've been around for a long time. How long you been on YouTube?
16 years.
Wow. Yeah. So
we started off. The first election that I covered on YouTube was George Bush and John Kerry.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking of questions to ask you, and since you have all this many years of experience putting out story after story from all over, you probably covered most areas of the globe. What sticks out in your mind as some of the most important events and stories that you've covered?
I think the Occupy, you know, was some of my favorite stuff that I covered, because I think it really exposed the out of control police state in our country. You know, and the brutality that goes along with it. And that's one of my favorite things to post, even though it's horrible that's what, you know, is going on in our world. And one of the things that puts me most in danger is, you know, exposing the evil of the police, you know, that they keep committing over and over again. And talking about, you know, that they don't want to give up the freedom. You know, they don't want to give us, you know, you want to save a cop's life. They all say, oh, I just want to go home to my wife and my family, you know, at night, you know, that's all I want, you know, then fucking end the drug war. how many cops' lives are going to be saved by ending a fucking drug war? You know, because
Yeah, but just think of all those unemployed cops. You stick all those unemployed cops out on the street, it would be havoc. They'd
Yeah.
have to get a job or something. you know?
yeah, anger issues, fucking substance abuse issues, fucking heavily armed, and unemployable. That is going to lead to problems. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, when I was at Occupy LA, the cops are pretty friendly, and so you can go up and talk to them, especially in groups of 2 and 3. And I went up to a couple cops and I'm talking to them, and just trying to explain what we're all about. And this one fucking monster walked up. He was like the Hulk, and he was like muscles everywhere on his neck, his arms, and what do you call that? Those hormones, these
Steroids.
like Skittles,
Steroids.
Yeah, steroids. This guy was obviously on steroids.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And I actually said to him, "God damn, man, what do you do? Work out 3 times a day?" And he's laughing, and he's all running into that guy in a serious situation. That'd be something.
Yeah, I try not to say too much to the cop. I like to be friendly with everybody, but man, I was out one night at this fight, and we got video of it because we film everything, and we were out in the city, downtown Seattle, and there was this big fight with like 15 people, and somebody got stabbed, and we had video of it. And this cop comes over, and I go, "You have the most beautiful mouth." And she was like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "I want to fuck your face, baby." Sorry.
Yeah, I think to really get a good vibe, a good sense of what a police force is about, you got to have experience with them. You have to have at least a couple incidents in your life where you had, the police came to your house, or you got in an accident, or there was a fight.
You think otherwise? What, you just think the cops are good people?
Well, yeah, it's just like any other area of learning, until you can't build a brick wall until you pick up a trowel and get some mud and bricks in your hand, and you're just looking at it. Until you deal with the cops, you're really kind of naive, but there's been lots of incidents with cops in my life because I'm kind of a rebel. But one time, you don't mind if I tell you a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One time, I cranked my music up, and I got a big house, and I rent out rooms. And one time, one of my roommates went off his medication, right? And he must have been I was in the shower, and I had my music up, and I come out of the shower, and the guy just hit me, just cold cocked.
Oh.
And I couldn't believe it, and I didn't know what to do. And he's a bigger guy than me, and I was kind of. So I tell the chick that was here, I tell her, "Hey, call the cops," because I'm not going to live with a guy after he hits me. So the cops come, but she tells the cops on the phone. The operator said, "Are there any weapons in the house?" And I got like knives and swords hanging up all over the wall, and she said, "Yeah, he's got weapons everywhere." So I had the SWAT team come and invade my house, and I'm sitting there with wrapped up in just the towel, and the 2 female cops, once they learned what was going on, they were really friendly, because I'm half naked, but the other pill popping steroid cop, he was like in my living room saying, "Well, you can't evict this guy, or we'll come back and arrest you." And I said, "Well, that's outside of your jurisdiction." "Well, we'll do, So you got to be careful when you call the cops, because they're not really. I mean, just look at all the videos. So, like of that little girl that just got beat up by a school cop. Did you see that recent one?
No, I didn't see that yet.
Yeah.
The lady in Fort Worth who got the welfare check, man. She was playing video games with her nephew, and the cop shot her through the fucking window.
Oh, that one, yeah. That was about 8, 9, 10 days ago, yeah.
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 She just got buried today.
you can't even live in your own house without cops coming and shooting you for no reason.
You know, I mean, there's this little girl, an 8-year-old girl. It was like 15 years ago. Something that happened like right when I first got on YouTube. There's a little girl, and I can never remember her name, in Detroit, and the cops fucking killed her. She's 8 years old. The cops went into her house on a drug bust, fucking killed her, shot her in the head. Said that they thought she had a weapon. 8-year-old girl, and they're in the wrong fucking house. They were supposed to be in the house next door.
Yeah, they're paranoid. They're paranoid. They're out of control, and they're control freaks. You know, so I get.
Well, that's why you got to take the drug war away. I mean, then shit like that at least won't happen anymore. You know, I mean, the drug war is what started this whole biggest bully on the block thing with the cops. And it takes so much shit away from the fucking violent gangs. You end the drug war, the violent gangs don't have money anymore. It's that simple.
Yeah, and you're cutting out the revenue from the county or the city you're in too, because that's how they collect money. They throw you in jail, charge you to go to court, charge you to, whether you're guilty or innocent, they're going to charge you anyways. You know, so they're tax collectors. I actually had a cop stop me one time. I was on my way to work, and I think my coffee spilled on my seat, and I lean over, and I pick up my coffee cup, and I get back up, and I'm looking at the road, and I had crossed the double yellow line, and I'm headed straight for a cop, head on.
Ooh.
And so I quickly pull into my lane, but I look in the rearview mirror, and the cop pulled a U-turn, and he stopped me. I knew he was going to stop me, so I pulled over, and you know, he checks my pulse. You know, well, first he says, "Oh, why did you almost hit me?" And I said, I told him my coffee spilled, and I'm tired, and I'm on my way to work, and you know, it was an accident. I'm sorry. And so he checks to make sure I'm not on drugs, and then he tells me, this is the coolest cop in the world too. He tells me, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm just a tax collector, and you seem like a nice guy, so I'm not gonna write you a ticket for anything. Just be more careful. And oh, thanks, man. Cool. Thanks. Have a good day. And so there's a happy story. They're not all assholes, you know.
I think that they have good days and bad days for one thing. But yeah, I think that look, when it comes to cops, just like all people, you have to take them like if they're taken as individuals, like a one-on-one kind of thing, there are probably a lot of really good cops. But when they're in a group, it's just like they're like any other violent gang. They're liars, they're criminals, and they fucking protect each other like fucking violent gang members.
Oh yeah. Any cop that will bust his brother doing something wrong is going to catch hell from all the other guys. So it's a tribe. It's just a tribal mentality, you know, except they got guns and badges.
Yeah, they got to get out of jail free card.
Yeah, most of the time. And you can gauge the severity of the corruption and brutality city by city, county by county. I mean, you just look back over the years, and this county, usually in Texas is pretty brutal. This county's got you know, six murder by cop events in the last 2 years, and Detroit, Chicago, I don't even know what to think about Chicago. It seems like the cops just sit in the cafes and let the people shoot each other in Chicago. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that some of them do, because you know, I keep hearing these stories where, you know, they don't, you know, they feel underappreciated, so they don't want to go out and do their fucking job. You know.
Well, you know, it's all because of marijuana. Marijuana's a gateway drug, and it makes people very violent. And so, you know, we get rid of the marijuana, then we'll eliminate violence in the United States, and everyone can salute the flag in peace and harmony, and sing Kumbaya, and we'll contribute to our local police fund, and everything will be okay.
You know, the thing is everybody, it's not that people want to hate the cops.
We'll contribute to our local police fund, and
You know, people don't want to hate the cops. People want to look up to the cops. People want to think that the cops truly are the heroes of our community. You know, it's just like all the other people want to look up to the politicians. We all want a fucking politician who that we can think, now this is a great guy. You know, this guy is a guy. We all want that. You know, the medical community. We want them not to try and sell us whatever the latest crap is and fucking actual do care. You know, but it's not there, and we deserve better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that seems to be your mantra. We deserve better, and you're right, we do. And human beings have always deserved better. The thing about living right now in this period of history, with social media and mass media, you know, newspapers, radio, television, all of it, the internet, is that the lives have gotten way more complicated. And so we're inundated with false stories and false heroes, and it's harder to figure out what's actually going on.
It is a lot more complicated to tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are.
Well, you know what the Rolling Stones said: every cop is a criminal, and all the sinners saints. And so I'm a fucking saint, man. I'm a saint.
We all play our role. That's all. That's what I keep saying. You know, we're all everybody. You know, we all play our role, man. We all got our parts, and they all count for something.
That's true. I mean, that's always been the story. All the archetypes in the astrology archetypes and in the tarot and all the heroic stories.
Sure.
You know, you get the villains, you get the merchants, you get the horrors. I happen to be a Game of Thrones fan, so I like all those archetypes that are presented. You know, I fancy myself to be a heroic type individual, but it's a hard fucking road. Like I'm looking at your heading there, it says, what does integrity mean? And you're not going to find any hero without integrity. And anyone who has integrity these days is a hero, whether they know it or not. You know, if you're trying to do the best you can in a criminal world, which is what we live in a criminal world, and you're sticking to principles which are higher and more noble, you are a hero. You know, housewives are heroes, doctors are heroes. Your gardener is a hero. You know, the guy digging a ditch. Maybe he's got 6 kids and he's working his ass off. That's heroic. It's all heroic.
Yeah.
You know, human beings are very heroic creatures, but we get swamped with false images and false heroes. We got false heroes all over the place now, like Jay-Z and Hillary Clinton and Madonna and, you know, all the fake pop stars and, you know, Kardashians. These are all fake fucking heroes. Real heroes are real people, you know, paying their rent, paying their bills, helping their brothers, just living an everyday life. These are the real heroes. That's why I try to treat everybody good, because fuck, you can ruin someone's life. You never know. Everybody's on the brink of disaster now, you know?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, no, I you know, I pick up. I walk the dogs. My roommate has 2 dogs, and I walk them every day. And we walk for at least an hour, and they make big piles of poo, you know. And I always pick up the poo. And the reason is because I keep thinking about some little kid who just got their first pair of new shoes in 6 months on their way to school, and they step in a pile of shit, and that just fucking affects their life so negatively that it just changes the whole direction of their fucking future. And I absolutely don't want to have that kind of karma. So I make sure to pick the dog shit up pretty thoroughly. Because they're so fragile, like you're saying. They're so fragile. Everybody is just on the edge of having this, like, you know, life-changing, life-threatening, I can't take it anymore experience, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think road rage events have probably skyrocketed. I don't know any statistics on that, but with everybody under stress and just an inch away from bankruptcy or losing their job or getting a divorce or something, you'll see a lot more road rage because people get in their cars and then their dark sister comes out. The evil twin is driving and they feel all protected behind their steel cage on wheels, and oh, you motherfucker! Oh. But I don't get that way. But I see you see a lot of irate women beeping, and you see a lot of guys using their cars as threatening weapons. And that's just one example. There's a million examples. Being rude to the person in line at the store. There's another example. Why are you doing that? And that person is just buying some tomatoes. Why are you being rude to them?
We're all just trying to get through this life, without any shit like that. But you see it so much in the road rage stuff, like you're talking about. I've talked about this a lot, and that's why I keep saying we have to be more than this anger. We have to not give in to the anger, because this anger is programmed. We're angry because of all this shit that but that's not where we're at. It's mostly stuff that happened before, or how am I going to deal with this tomorrow or next month, and it's right here, right now, in this moment. That stuff really doesn't exist except for in your head. And you're so programmed to jump back and forth between this anger and just, it's very dangerous. So don't give in to the anger, take a breath and just keep moving. I keep telling my roommate, man, do not fuck with crazy people. Okay, because these people that are the road rage people, they're fucking out of their mind crazy. They will pull a gun and shoot you and drive away. That's insanity.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure that happens all the time. I've had people pull fake guns on me, but nobody's ever tried to shoot me car to car like that. But yeah, I mean, people are crazy. So, choose your friends wisely and be kind to your brothers and sisters and take care of each other. Be decent. Just be a decent person. And if you're a decent person most of the time, you're automatically a hero in my book,
And breathe. Remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe.
Yeah. What's your name?
Michael.
Mike, I don't know why I cannot remember that. And didn't you describe yourself as a brutal person?
I am a brutal person. But,
Doesn't he sound so brutal? Doesn't he sound so brutal? See, I told you, you're so much more than that, my brother.
I know. I still got weapons hanging on my wall.
Well, they make nice decorations, actually.
They do. I got my father's sword up there, and nothing too illegal. I sleep with a gun under my pillow and a crucifix, and so far,
You afraid of vampires, or?
No, it's a kind of a holy relic, But so far, I haven't shot Jesus, so I'm doing okay,
Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. You sound like you're doing okay to me.
No, I'm doing great, man. It's hot. It's hot down here. There's a big fire. It's almost 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And, I had to extra water my plants today, and my life is beautiful. I paid my fucking property taxes, $2,600 a year in property taxes.
Ours is twice that for this house.
Say what?
This house cost us twice that.
In property taxes?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, life is good, man, and everybody just be strong and take care of each other and recognize the enemy. The enemy is the government. That's the enemy, and it doesn't matter if it's your county government, your city government, your state government. Any aspect of the government can automatically become your enemy at any point in your life. And because these people believe they have authority over you. So you have to become a really sovereign person. And, you told me, maybe yesterday, you told me You know, no one can take your freedom from you. So that's something you got to keep in mind. It's, hey, you know, if a cop stops you and you put your turn signal on and he's got no reason to stop you, but he's telling you, hey, you didn't put your turn signal on. You got to grab your freedom and say, hey, no, you're wrong. I did. And if another branch of the government comes in and say, hey, you owe me $20,000 in taxes, you got to go and you got to fight that branch of the government. And
Yeah.
so that's what freedom is. Freedom isn't for wussies. Freedom isn't for sheep. Freedom is for heroes, and you have to be a hero in this life because everything's fucked up. And,
Not everything's fucked up. Your garden's not fucked up.
Oh, my garden is bitching, but I mean,
See?
I'm talking about society.
Well, it's like you said with the people, the government, what he's saying when he's talking about the government, the local government, the state government, the federal government being the real enemy, is that those are the only ones that are really trying to take your freedom from you. I mean, it's not ISIS. ISIS isn't trying to take your freedom from you. It's the fucking bullshit asshole politicians in Washington, D.C. who say shit like, oh, if we do that, then the terrorists win. And then they fucking spy on all of us because we're potential terrorists, you know?
Well, there was a Roman philosopher named Tacitus, and he, believe it or not, must have been 2,000 years ago, said, the more numerous the laws, the more corrupt the society. And just look around you. It costs you $100 to buy a permit to have a lemonade stand if you're 9 years old. That's a pretty fucked up thing right there.
That's a totally fucked up thing, dude.
Yeah. So the government's not your friend.
Government is not our friend.
Yeah. But, yeah, Mike, I mean, I hope you're doing okay up there. I mean, I admire you. You've been doing YouTube work. You've had this YouTube channel for 16 years, and you probably put out every major story and another 1,000 kind of hidden stories. So you educated a lot of people. I have you got 116,000 subscribers. So you're making your mark. You know, that's a pretty good number there. So
I've served 800 million views off of YouTube.
Wow. You think that's an accurate reading?
Yeah, that's pretty darn close.
Wow.
It might be 900.
You don't have any strikes against you because you just rebroadcasting the original content, right?
I don't right now. I'm not having an issue with. I'm having copyright issues, but not copyright strike issues. So
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have. I'm not having any kind of. I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like, like I'll post the Jill Stein video that interview with Tucker Carlson that I posted a few days ago, where they were talking about Hillary Clinton and Tulsi Gabbard. The Fox News blocked that video worldwide. And I don't know why, because usually they don't block the Tucker Carlson. They block the woman who comes on before him.
I didn't see it. Did she say something powerful that the powers that be don't want to be heard?
She just said, basically the same thing that Tulsi's saying, was that, Hillary's way out of line. And she talked about, because Hillary was saying the same stuff about Jill Stein. Hillary's saying that Jill Stein was an agent of Russia also. And I'm checking now, looking at the video manager, I can see that I submitted a counter copyright claim stating that this is fair use video. That news, that it was presented for educational and discussion purposes for the general public, and that it has not been monetized. And that's what makes it fair use. I'm not making money off of it. I'm just presenting it for educational purposes. And if it is news, then that means that it is fair use. By definition, news is fair use. So it's like this, Fox. It's like this, CNN. if you're news, then you're fair use, which means I have the right to post your fucking videos. If you're fake news, if you're not news, if you're opinion, if you're bullshit, if you're fake news, okay, if you want to just go ahead and admit that you are fake news, then I no longer have the right. Then you're like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart used to say all the time, we're fake news. I'm fake news, you know? So what they're doing.
Heard him say that, but
No, he used to say all the time, "I'm fake news." He would say, he would show something to people, and they said, "But I'm fake news," you know. But he was also considered by Time magazine to be the most trusted man in American news. I mean, they named him that after like a overwhelming poll. So, and that's because he was actually trying to show people, as I show people with the fucking fake news mainstream media clips, this little bit of truth. And he showed a lot of little bits of truth.
yeah, it's look at the world we live in. You got a game show host for a president and a comedian as the nation's top newscaster. So, what's next?
No, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, we're a little bit over the rainbow here.
Well, I feel fine. What's that song by REM?
It's the end of the world as I know it.
Right. Yeah, the end of the world as we know it. But I mean, I caught about 1 minute of that Mark Zuckerberg doing a 6-hour stint before Congress the other day, and I happened to catch the 1 minute when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was talking, and it seemed to me, as much as I think she's well-intentioned, that she's quite the dimwit. She doesn't. But the thing that stuck out the most is Zuckerberg's answer to her was that there's this national fact-checking organization that is completely separate from Facebook, and he's not responsible for it. And so that was news to me. I had no idea there was a national fact-checking organization.
You know what? I can't stand that guy. He just comes across as like, I mean, he has this amazing format, this amazing platform that can make the world a better place.
Right.
If I had the kind of power that he has, we would already be having these worldwide summits that I'm talking about, where everyone on the planet is coming together to having discussions. But these people don't really care about, the priorities of the common man.
Well, Zuckerberg is obviously a sellout. He sold all our information already. All you have to do is go online and look for yard tools or car parts. Then you go back on Facebook, and all these ads will pop up for yard tools and car parts. So obviously, he's hooked in with Google. Every Google search you make is automatically registered with the algorithm machine at Facebook. And you're right, he does have much more constructive, cathartic global power than any other person, I think. I remember during the Egyptian revolution, I was all over that every day. I was watching it from 50 different sources, and they were spray painting all over the walls of the buildings in downtown Cairo. Facebook, Twitter. So the entire Arab Spring started basically with Facebook and Twitter.
Right.
So, yeah.
But that's when it was fucking the wild, wild west, and now they've reeled that all back in.
Yeah, the CIA jumped all over that, man. They had infiltrated everything within 14, 16 months, and by that time, everything was twisted,
It sure is twisted. There's no doubt about that.
So, my friend Mike, I'll throw you down some money and buy you some pizza or you can sprinkle black gold on your pizza if you want.
Hey, I was going to ask you about that. That black gold. Are you do you like add anything to it, like you know, to make it?
What are you growing in? Are you growing in pots?
Yeah, I'm going to grow in fabric bags.
Okay, yeah. Just fill them up with black gold. You don't have to add anything. They got the natural growth hormones already in them. I can't remember what they're called, but
The mycorrhizin.
yeah, mycorrhizas, yeah. And you know, that's what I use. There might be one brand or two brand a little bit better than that, but I have no problems with black gold. But it's just local at my store, and that's what I use. And
Yeah. No, it's a lot cheaper than the Fox Farms or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I had heard 5-6 years ago that Fox Farm changed their formula and they'd gone down in quality. So I switched to black gold, and that's all I use now. But yeah, just fill it up. You don't need to do anything. You don't turn a lot of soil. Every year I'm turning giant mountains of soil, and I'm adding steer manure and stuff to it. You know?
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. Just use straight up black gold, and you'll be fine.
Right on. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks a lot.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon, Michael, and I'll get you some money.
Hey, I really appreciate it, Michael. Thanks so much for your help.
Yeah, thanks for what you do, brother. Take
Okay.
care.
And that's the thing is you know, just it makes a world of difference when it's just even one person gives a little bit back, because there's this you know, me working and not getting anything, and then there's me working and someone giving something back, and that's like a day and night difference, so you guys know. Okay, thanks to Dwayne, we are now capturing a Tulsi Gabbard video. I'll be posting that in just a few minutes. Thanks, Dwayne, because I don't watch that show. I cannot stand that guy. That is, you know, these people, I mean, he has the same fixer attorney as Donald Trump, right? So these people act like they're just, you know, a disciple of Jesus. No disciple of Jesus has a fixer attorney, so you know. Okay, that's just not something that they need. Okay, but I digress. But actually not, because that is a statement of integrity, right? If you have a fixer attorney, that's a pretty big statement about integrity, your own personal integrity, right? Sean Hannity. Let's see, we are at 1 minute and 21 minutes. 1 hour and 22 minutes. So, I think this is a lovely experience. I'm really glad that we're doing this. This is, for me, this is, I mean, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like that, like I'm out here preaching or anything, right? I mean, I'm just trying to bring us together and to, you know, I don't know, touch bases with each other. I want us all to move beyond the road ragey thing and sing Kumbaya together. Is that too preachy for you? And it's not that's what I want. It's that we deserve better, and the only way that we're going to get it is that if we all come together. That's what I truly believe. So that's what I'm trying to make happen, is for you guys to be able to see that we are, you know, we are the solution. We have to be the solution, because if we're not the answer to the problem, there's a good chance it won't get answered. Hello, caller.
Hello, Mike. This is Michelle. How are you?
I am good, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I've been listening to the callers, man. Fucking interesting. I love it.
Right on. Well, that's very nice of you to say.
Oh, yeah, man. They all have some great points, from vaccinations to freaking government and whatnot. It's like, oh, hell yeah. I think you're waking up people here, Mike.
Well, that's what I've been doing for a while, Michelle.
I know. I heard 15 years. Wow. Congratulations.
And
Damn, you are a determined man.
and they've been trying to get rid of me every single day of those 16 years. So you know, Michelle.
And that's what they call integrity. You know?
I think it's fortitude, but yeah. I mean, I'm just one of those guys that you just can't get to do what you tell them to do. You know, I mean, like I think yesterday or the day before I told you to stop telling me what to do. You know, I'm one of those guys, man. You cannot say, you know, do it this way. And that's why I had such a hard time in school, you know, because you just can't say do it this way. And I'd be like, oh, yes, sir. I'm like, fuck you. I like doing it this way.
Yeah. And especially when you end up with the same result. It's like they don't want you to tell them how to do their job. So that's why they try to shut you down.
Well, they don't want to try and figure out how it is that you make it work, what it is that you're doing. And so they just want to tell you that that's not going to work for you every time, and you need to do it the way that I say to do it.
Because they're smarter than us. Didn't you know that?
Because I'm the fucking boss of you, goddammit.
Oh no, you're not.
That's what happens to me is I have these people try and act like they're the boss of me, and I'm like, you don't know who you're fucking with, do you? You know?
Let me introduce myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, being a free thinker and having your own beliefs and doing the right thing when no one is looking—that's integrity. You know.
You know, I think following your own path and not letting somebody tell you what you're supposed to be doing when you know that what you're doing is the right thing.
Right. Exactly. You don't sell yourself out. You know, that's the most important thing. And if the government, from the politicians all the way straight up to the White House, if they had an ounce of integrity, they would see that doing the right thing when no one is looking, that's integrity. By thinking about somebody else, having empathy for a fellow man to say, you know what, some people are struggling until, they're all out of touch. None of them understand what the hell we do on a day-to-day basis. They don't understand how we work our asses off and barely making ends meet. They don't understand that, because they never had to work like, regular people like us. We're regular people.
They're going out to they're going out to $500 dinners and shit every fucking night, Michelle. They got no clue what the regular man fucking deals with.
And see, and I could not imagine that. Even if I would hit the lotto, I would still be modest. I would just, if anything, I would upgrade my house, but I wouldn't go and buy a fucking multi-million-dollar fucking mansion. It's like you got to stay. It's like if you can help other people.
Well, where are you going to keep all your Ferraris out then, Michelle?
Fuck the Ferrari, man. All I need is a fucking vehicle to take me from point A to point B. Shit, come on.
You know what? Yeah. A Ferrari's not going to be as fun as they portray it anyways.
And frankly, I'm at the point where I don't keep up with the Joneses like they say. I don't keep up with, okay, my neighbor just bought this. Well, fuck, I'm going to buy something that costs even more to show them up.
Yeah.
I live to just be happy. I live to live within my means. And even if I don't have to, shit. I go to work every day, blue collar worker here, and I have a bologna fucking sandwich every fucking day for lunch. And I don't care where I'm working. Everybody looks at me like, is that all you eat? I said, yeah, because when I grew up poor. That, bologna was like a fucking poor man's steak sandwich to us. All I lived was with rice and beans, and maybe you'll get some kind of meat every now and then. I remember those days, and I take it with me now because you never know when the bottom's going to drop,
Yeah.
It's, and you got to keep that. And that's why I wish that more people had integrity and just do the right fucking thing. Have your morals and just say, you know what? The golden rule. Do as, to them as you will have them do to you. That's what I've always believed in, 100%. I'm going to talk to someone right now, just like you do, and that's what attracted me to your show, is the fact that you will talk to different callers, and they have different opinions, and you may not agree with it, but you don't fucking slam them. You let them speak their minds. You give them that out, that to where they feel like, damn, someone is listening to me. And little by little, it's going to change their minds. It's going to make them feel like, hey, I am heard. I am somebody. And you know what? We are fucking somebody. No matter whether you work at a restaurant, whether you work at a factory, or a white collar worker, it doesn't fucking matter. We're all in this fucking rat race together, you know?
And you notice, Michelle, that when the people call and they call and with all different kinds of opinions from every different angle, you know, I don't immediately label them as this or that or whatever, or after they get off the phone start talking shit about them or anything like that. You know, they are their opinion is of value to all of us, even if we don't agree with it.
Right, because you know what? Because you don't get hurt by merely words. It's like people have their opinion, and that's the way it is. But people, like, when I first called you, man, I was so hyped up because I'm like, oh my God, somebody's fucking listening to what I have to say. Like, holy shit.
We all remember that first call, Michelle.
I know, I did too, man. I fucking replayed that shit when I was sober. And I was like, God damn. I was like so excited, like, well, this guy is listening to me. Like, really? Anytime I have a conversation with my friends about that, they're the ones that get all fucking worked up and shit. And so then I just shut down. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna go ahead and you know you're not willing to fucking attempt to understand what I'm saying, I'll just shut up.
Yeah.
And I called you, you know, I've never called into shows or anything like that. And when I talked to you and you were all just like, yeah, damn right. You fucking got me all worked up. That was all your fault, man.
I don't think I got you worked up. I just encourage you to go with it.
Exactly. And everybody else is like, they just shut me down. So I just like, you know what, fuck it. If you're not willing to at least have a discussion, what's the point? You know, you're going to fucking stay, you know, to your, you know, whatever your beliefs are and think that if everyone else doesn't believe what you do, then everybody is wrong. And I don't believe in that shit. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like when Dwayne talked about vaccines, you know, for kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't take vaccines for nothing. I tell them, you know, they're like, oh, you got to get your flu shot. So the word got around that the flu shot is giving you a fucking virus to give you the flu. So that way, when you do get the flu later, your fucking immune system's gonna be stronger. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't want them to give me a goddamn virus if I don't fucking need it. And ever since I stopped taking that shit, I have not, you know, knock on wood, I have not been sick for nothing. It's just like, why am I allowing the government to give me a goddamn vaccination just because pharmaceuticals are going to make out on it? The fucking doctors are already programmed to make sure everybody gets the, you know, the fucking vaccine. It's not good for you, man. It's not.
I just can't trust the medical community or the government. You know, and the last thing I want is them putting something, you know, into my bloodstream that's fucking, you know, supposed to, I don't know, activate some other fucking shit. I just can't trust them in any way, shape, or form. And it's because of their actions. They've shown again and again that they are not trustworthy. The medical association and the fucking government. Neither one of them. The police state is horrible, and we deserve better.
They have nurses that have retired and they spoke about vaccines. And they have said, do not give your children the vaccine. Because I've seen healthy children, healthy babies that are supposed to get like 14 shots now or something like that. Don't mark my words on that. But they're supposed to get an outrageous amount of shots as their babies. And they say, you know what, the baby was healthy. All of a sudden they got Down syndrome. All of a sudden they got autism. Yeah, patients for profits. You know, I don't have kids, and I'm glad I don't because this world is so fucking scary and dangerous.
Yeah.
That I would end up, if I did, I would end up doing what Dwayne did. You know what? You're going to be homeschooled. Fuck that.
Yeah.
The government can tell me what I can and cannot do with my own child. Now talk about overreach of government. Calm the fuck down. I need to back up.
And the schools don't seem to be teaching anything of value anyways. They're going to learn so much more at home than they could ever. And they're just going to get into some kind of trouble in the police state at the fucking schools. Because the schools have all invited the police state 100% into the schools, you know, which they know is an incredible danger to every one of their students. It's like it's like allowing fucking great white sharks to swim through the fucking school system, you know?
Exactly. Did you see that where the fucking cop had arrested a fucking 2 8-year-olds? 2 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
for fucking some bullshit, and then that cop got reprimanded or whatever because they're like, you gotta know when to fucking actually fucking put a kid in cuffs.
Right. They were very upset about the little girl being put into handcuffs.
Yes, I was like, what the hell is going on? I would be so terrified to send my kid to school because other reasons, you know, they're not even told the true history to begin with. They're just being programmed as to this is how we want you to be in society. Believe what the fuck we tell you, and that's it.
Right.
You
They're changing your kids into fucking clogs so that they can be a fucking part of the machine. That's that.
So they
And
be
and they're providing a babysitting service, and that's about it.
God damn, you know what? I think it might be safer to leave your kid home alone.
I think it's entirely possible. Do you see the video today about the cop and the junior high teacher and his junior high teacher wife that were busted for having sexually explicit pictures of a fucking 12-year-old in bed with them?
Oh my God, I seen that shit, but wasn't the charge dropped or some shit because the kid cannot fucking say what actually happened?
I didn't hear that.
That's a new one that I just seen today.
Yeah, well, that sounds like Louisiana.
It was a cop, yeah, it was a cop, and he was high ranking, and his wife that was a school teacher, and they were both molesting fucking kids and shit, and they were just all like, well, you know, the kids can't testify and whatnot. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, and so
and this is what I keep talking about. The pillars of our community are just, you know, are just not trustworthy in any way. And what does that do? What does that do to the entire community? You know, we deserve better. That's all.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And that's why I was, you know, when you had said about, you know, what does it mean to you? And I'm like, to me, from what you're saying, it's to listen to everybody and allow them to have their own opinion and not run behind their back and talk shit about them. Because whether they have an opinion, you may agree and you may disagree, you still allow that for them to be able to speak their minds and feel free to talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You know, it's just like, it's all good. If that's what you believe in, okay, but you're going to have to give me the same respect. And when I explain to you, this is what I believe in, you know, we'll agree to disagree and call it a day. No hurt feelings, no nothing. But nowadays, Americans are so fucking hurt by, you know, words. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, it's like, you know how they used to say, words don't hurt, but sticks do, or whatever they fucking said.
Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me.
Exactly. But you know what? I believe it's like people are fucking taking it, you know, I mean, way too far. Because words should not hurt you. It's like if you believe in something and you stay strong for what you believe in, who the fuck is going to change your mind? You know, I've been brought up to where you can only control you, and that's it. You cannot turn around and control whatever anybody else believes and what they believe in. If you don't believe in what they say and they don't believe in you, then you know what? Let's just call it a draw and leave it at that. Nobody gets hurt. But people know what they want to fight for that shit. What do you mean you don't believe in what I fucking say? Motherfucker, you shall believe it. Like, calm the fuck down.
Well, immediately you're about the stupidest motherfucker on the face of the planet if you don't agree with me.
And I'm okay with that.
You know, well, if that's where you're coming from, then you know what, we don't really have much to talk about, do we? You know, I mean, that's why I'm not that guy. I'm not the one attaching labels. And even though I may not agree with what you're saying, I think it's incredibly important that you are part of the discussion.
Right. And if more politicians were understanding like that, this would be a different world. If the billionaires would think about that shit, they would not be billionaires, but you know what? They would have a better life morally by saying, you know what the hell? It's like the game of the one who has more toys when they die are the winners. You know, and this is like, if you live by that, it's like, you know what? It's pretty sad that materialistic things make you happy more than a human being, a human life. You know, corporate has been taking advantage of the working man for how long now? You know, their profits go sky high. Meanwhile, our wages stay fucking at a straight level low.
Right.
You know, they don't care because they're filling their pockets. And that's a lack of integrity. But if you had
Absolutely.
integrity and millionaires and businessmen, you know, this world would be so much different because we actually consider that, you know what, we are all in this together. So if the billionaires keep fucking this corporate greed, you're not gonna have anybody left to buy your goddamn product. Then what? Okay, they got the money to get out of the country and go live in another country and see if they can pull that shit in another country. Meanwhile, we're stuck. That's why I tell everybody, stand up, rise up. You know, it's time for us to take a stand and fucking put our feet solid in this fucking world of ours and own that shit. Quit fucking agreeing with whatever they tell you. This is how you should think. This is a free world. You have a free mind. Don't be programmed. You know, I'm out of the status quo because I don't fall for this shit. I'm so like, oh, yeah, okay. You know?
Yeah.
People need to just live their life and quit fucking allowing the TV. Hey, you know, back in the day, maybe they could have trusted the television to tell you the truth. When you had honest journalists, you don't have that now. You have nothing but talking heads. You have the media, the mainstream media owned by billionaires. Do you think they want us to know the truth? Hell no, because it helps them.
Yeah.
They prosper when we stay stupid, when we stay dumb,
And
when we
angry.
don't do research.
And angry and underappreciated and underpaid and all these things that just benefits the upper 1/10 of 1%.
Exactly. And meanwhile, we're fighting against each other, but it's like we should not be fighting against each other because we all want the same thing. We want our families to live a happy life and not worry about anything. The enemy is not each other, but they make it to where, you know what, it's this guy or that guy that's keeping you down.
Right.
So that way, they you know, it's a deflection.
It's this
You
thing
think
with
about
it's the thing with the labels. It's those guys are the problem. These ones over here, the libtards or the conservators or, you know, whatever stupid label it is that they attach to people, you know. And the ones that doing it, I mean, the ones that are in the mainstream media and saying these guys are the problem, those guys are fucking so threatening to our existence. I mean, that they are really dangerous. They act like these people need to be completely disregarded, you know. And like I keep saying, the only way we're going to fix this problem, and as you said, you know, we're all in the same boat basically, you know, and the only way, which means the only way we're going to fix this is if we can all come together, which is why even though you know, I have different opinions from you and everybody else, you know, your opinion and just you being part of the conversation is so important, because if everybody's not involved, we're not going to get this done.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
Because it's always good to listen to other people, but they would rather have it if you're talking against the government. All of a sudden, you're a fucking traitor. All of a sudden, you're a communist.
You're a towel.
Yeah.
You're a towel.
And it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm like, since when I had my own opinion of the way I lived my life from day one, you know, it's just like you have your mind to decide in the future how you're going to live. Is this working for you? No. Is that working for you? Yes. And you're going to go through what's working for you, but don't let somebody that's not even your friend, you know, corporate media, they're the ones who are going to fucking tell you, hey, if somebody fucking tells you the government sucks, you better not believe them because they're anti-American. And you're like, okay. And that's where it comes to the school systems. They program the kids to fucking say, you know, hey, what's going on in your life? They fucking have these kids have these projects to say, okay, you know, what'd you do over the holidays? What did your family discuss about? They have essays for these kids. And the kids, they don't know any better. They're just thinking they're being honest. Well, mommy and daddy argue all the time and shit. And they're just all like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
You know, it's all programmed. It's like they manipulate the children.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You know?
It's the powers that be, the just the upper, you know, it's like Dwayne was saying, you know, or Michael was saying, it's just the local governments, the state governments, the federal governments, you know, the people in charge are just doing their best to make us, to just make it so that everything is fear, fear, fear. If you're not afraid, then you don't know what's going on. I mean, I remember John Kelly, right? John Kelly was President Trump's chief of staff, right? But before he was a chief of staff, or after he was before I think he was chief of staff, he was the head of Department of Homeland Security, right? So, and as head of Department of Security, he said on Fox News, if you could see the things that I see, you'd be so afraid that you'd never leave your house. I mean, where are these people that are like, we have nothing to fear but fear itself? Where the fuck did those people go? Those were the fucking real people, because that's some real shit right there. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. And every fucking second, this mainstream media, this whole Western civilization is just fear, 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 fear. And I've had enough. We deserve better.
Well, you're right. And those people have been assassinated one way or another. When you look at the TV, it's like you can't get commercials without fucking seeing something about the pharmaceutical saying, are you feeling this way?
Yeah.
Are you feeling that way? You better get to the doctor because motherfucker, you're dying.
Yeah.
It's just like, God damn, everything's out of fear, fear, fear. And that's what works on people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because people are like, oh my God, it's on TV, so it's gotta be real. It's like, God damn, if you have those symptoms, where you're fucking hurting, you have aches and you have pain. That's because you're a working man, motherfucker. It doesn't have to do with, oh my God, I got fucking MS, or oh my God, just like the pharmaceuticals, they have every time you turn around, hey, you know what? Guess what? We just invented a new drug. Maybe you need this. Maybe you need that. The thing with the pharmaceutical industry, the problem that I have with them is that we, the taxpayers, put in the money for them to have, the scientists figure out this drug and that drug. So they take our money from that, and then they turn around and fucking make all this goddamn profit on us
and poison our community while they're doing it.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be like that. It's like, you know what? We're the ones that are paying you guys, the taxpayers, to fucking go ahead and have all this, scientists discover this, discover that, and then you guys turn around and fucking still make us pay for that shit. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then half of the shit, you look at it and you're like, blah, 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 all these side effects. They say it's so fucking fast in the commercial. And I'm like, okay, well then I can go ahead and cure my arthritis, but your liver's going to be fucked up. Fuck your lungs. Fuck this. Fuck that. But hey, you don't feel no pain on your knees no more. It's like, what sense does that make, man?
When you could just have a brownie and your arthritis feels so much better.
Fucking thank you. Fucking thank you. And it solves so much more. Like I commented the other day about, marijuana and shit. It's just like, yeah, you can fucking take that. The only victim is your fucking fridge, man. We ain't trying to go out and hurt anybody. We're not trying to go out and hurt anybody. We're just fucking doing this for us to have a fucking peace of mind. It's like, hey, if that helps me with my headaches, if that helps me with my anxiety, because every time you turn around and think, okay, the government cannot go any further than this. They fucking do, man. They elevate to another fucking level. And I'm just like, you know what? Thank God for me and my fucking weed, man, because this shit is outrageous. And it's outrageous because people don't see that shit. They take a medicine to cure something else, and all of a sudden you have four other symptoms. And guess what? Patients for profits. Now you got to go and pay for other medications, and that's going to give you more side effects.
Right.
When you just fucking smoke weed and call it a fucking day.
Yeah, man. You have a cookie in the morning and you're good.
Thank you. Thank you, man. When you get out of work, you're hurting. Fucking hey, just smoke a little bit, man. You're good.
You get the thing is I always say that that the herb, it helps you to change your priorities, right? Like you get off work and you're like, oh, I can't believe this person's such a fucking dickhole, and God, my back hurts, and now I gotta go do this shit, and the shit never ends. And you go take a bong hit and you go, SpongeBob is funny. You know what I mean? It's so much. It's just simple. You know, it's like all that shit doesn't matter. All that shit doesn't matter. I don't want to carry this dickhole fucking with me from work all the way home and then have him at home with me. Fuck that shit. I take a bong hit and that dickhole's gone. He doesn't matter in the slightest anymore.
And you know what? And I have that in my head, and I've always had, you know, I got about fucking 30 years, you know, from 18 years old to I'm almost 50. And I got that in my head to where whatever happens at work, hey, I get paid to deal with this bullshit, this high school bullshit that occurs in the work industry. You know, okay, I'm fucking, you know, in the factory, there's always somebody talking about somebody else. And it's like, God damn, you can tell who the bullies were in high school. But I've always told myself, when I get home or when I clock out, I'm not getting paid to deal with this bullshit, so I don't think about them at all. You know, I get it to where, okay, this is my time. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody says at work, because this is my time. I'm going to relax. I'm going to burn. I'm going to drink, and I'm just going to chill out. The next day, here we go again. But I have taught people how to treat me, and that's what people need to learn. You have to teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
A lot of people come up to me and say, hey, did you hear? And I'm like, you know what? I don't care about what anybody else's personal problems are. That's on them. I'm here to put food on my table, to keep a roof over my head, and take care of my family. I send money back home to my family, and that's who I care about. So motherfuckers, whatever you got to say, this gossip, that gossip, they already know. They come up to me and they're like, oh, never mind. And I'm like, damn right. You have to treat people how to treat you, because they already know. If they have gossip, move on past me and go tell somebody else who gives a fuck, because I don't care who's fucking who. I don't care who's doing what. That does not have nothing to do with me. I'm getting paid to do my job. I'm going to do my fucking job. Now, if you want to bullshit about sports or anything like that, let's talk about that. I don't talk about politics at work. I'm just like out of that shit. I just want to go to work, do what I got to do, and fucking come home and be all like, oh yeah, sweet freedom. I don't have a problem sleeping at night. I know I put in a hard day's work. I'm getting paid for that, and that's it. I don't get paid for this gossip bullshit. And when I get home, I sure as fuck am not getting paid worried about who fucked who. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
People gotta be.
Like I said, it doesn't. It's really not something that matters at all, and that's one of the beautiful things about the herb, is it just lets that go. You know, it makes it real clear that's really just not an important thing, and I'm gonna enjoy something while I have the chance to enjoy it, instead of fucking being all wound up about that idiot. So, exactly. Michelle, somebody else is trying to get through real bad, so I'm gonna try and.
All right, it's nice talking to you. I'll catch you another time.
Okay, it's good to hear from you. Thanks so much. Okay, so somebody keeps calling, and I don't want to not make the phone lines available to them too. Now they probably won't call. Oh, there we go.
Wanted to take this call.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello? I don't know what happened to that caller. You still there, caller? I can hear the show in the background. You just gonna sit there or what? Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Thanks so much for getting me off the phone with Michelle. You know, I thought that person might have something to say, so sorry, Michelle. I am gonna post this fucking Tulsi Gabbard video.
So what is so concerning about what Hillary Clinton is doing here is she is not only calling me a traitor, she is not only trying to smear my character, she's sending a warning out to every veteran.
Hello, caller.
What the hell, Mike? You gonna cut me off like that?
Hey, that person kept calling and we're like, hey, I got it. And he kept calling, like halfway through your phone call. So I was like, all right, so I better give that person the opportunity. And then they're like, hello, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
I know I went back on there and shit. And I'm like, goddamn, Mike, I think I got passed out, man.
Every single American, anyone who stands up against
But no,
the
it's okay, man.
warmongering
Feel like I told you
policies.
before. I know I ramble on and whatnot and shit. Cut me off
Well,
whenever guys-
you told me, Michelle, that if someone else is calling through, to feel free to cut you off. You already told me that. Yeah,
Absolutely. I want other people to talk, not just me, because
I
like
remember
said,
things.
talking,
I remember
but
things.
when somebody else comes on, fucking, you just let me know and boom, we're good. No
Yeah.
problem with
Yeah.
shit.
Well, did you say you're a waitress?
No, I work in a factory.
Oh,
I happen to be what a lot of fucking corporate don't like. I'm a factory worker at General Motors over here in Texas. So I'm
Cool.
part of the strike and everything else right now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that shit's like, oh, that's another level because corporate greed again. GM got bailed out. The union fucking gave them, hey, you can take the cost of living back. You can take
She's
this
not only
vacation
trying
back.
to smear my
We
character,
gave up
she's
all
sending a
kinds of
warning
shit.
out
That
to,
now we're like, okay, the company's back on their feet. They're making billions and billions of profit. And they're not even thinking about giving us back the cost of, living or anything else like that. And so I've been on strike. That's why I've been able to talk to you. Otherwise, if this contract is ratified, we'll find out tomorrow. And if that's the case, then I get off of work at 10 o'clock Central Time. So I don't think I'll be able to contact you after Monday because I'll be going back to work.
Well, you never know. I mean, if you be sure to look around because you never know. We might run long days. There might be days when we go, until late.
Yeah.
If there's once we start the ball rolling and things start going a little bit more smoothly, there's a good chance the show will last 4 hours on lots of days.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, I moved over here to Texas from Ohio. And over there in Ohio, I was working at a machine industry to where I was a machinist. We were sharpening fucking industrial sized knives. And I was like the first woman to get hired in there. I'm breaking barriers everywhere I look. It's just like, you know what? I grew up poor, so I don't give a fuck how hard that job is. I go from job to job. They close down, okay, whatever. Then Ohio turned into a shit show because all the jobs in Ohio had been shipped overseas or shut down. So I made the move to go back to college, and I got my, I'm certified in, manufacturing, engineering, technology. And I'm like, okay, I hear that there's a lot of jobs in Texas. So I fucking made the move. I was like, I broke my mom's car. I broke my family's car. So I was moving all the way over here because, we're a tight-knit family. Well, all my relatives are in Ohio. Nowhere else but in Ohio. So I said, Mom, I'm sorry, but I got to go where the work is because I'm not going to fucking go and work, somewhere where, it's just not for me. It's not my industry. I've always been in the automotive industry.
Yeah.
And so I came over here. And I've worked in different factories over here in Texas before. I finally got into General Motors, which I had like 4 uncles that had retired from General Motors in Ohio. But it's not the same GM anymore.
Right.
My uncle was just like, man, it's so prestigious working at fucking GM. You're a man, your wife doesn't have to work, and you can still take care of your kids. It's like, God damn, I want that life.
Yeah.
Oh, man, came over here. It wasn't the same thing. I quit a fucking $30 machining job just to say, I'm going to go ahead and work at GM at half the pay. I took that hit. And that's where GM's greed comes into play.
Yeah.
I've been fucking doing this for 10 years now, and then they turn around and fucking say, hey, I don't give a fuck about your sacrifices. It's always good when the UAW is like, we're going to go ahead and sacrifice for this company because, we want it to stay open. We don't want the bankruptcy. We want to, it to stay open.
Yeah.
Then we found out, contract after contract, GM's go like, nah, we're not giving you shit. motherfuckers, you really forgot what the workers sacrificed for you. And so that's why we've been on this strike. And I just went and voted today, as a matter of fact, on the contract. And it's like, they're taking advantage of temporary workers, bringing them in less than fucking like $14 an hour, and it's a dangerous job. It's repetitive. It's like we've been forced like 6 days a week for the last 5 years because we were working without a contract.
Ouch.
Yeah, so we want to turn around and say, hey, we're fucking helping you guys. You guys got billions of profits, and you don't want to give us back what we fucking, gave you out of good faith. It's like, come on. Everybody knows that when you give something up to the company, they're going to fucking fight to just keep it, That's just the way they are. And so I don't know what's going to happen yet. We haven't found out the results, for this. And we're going to find out tomorrow sometime. So that's why I'm like, well, let me call Michael. I can, because once I go back to work,
Yeah.
it can change. But I really appreciate everything that you do, and everything that you talk about.
Well,
that's what got me to want to talk to you and just, inform the world, or, kind of inform your viewers and your listeners exactly what the fuck is going on in America. That's crazy.
well,
Like,
we're all really glad that you're part of the conversation, Michelle. So
I've had fun. I've had fun with y'all. I really do have fun. I have fun texting and the conversation and stuff. And that's why I say some things I'm just like, oh, that's too much of text. Let me just call them real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, but I appreciate you and everything. And that's why I just thought I'd call back and just, I'm kind of like taking everything in while I can, because when I go back to work, it's going to be like work, home, sleep. That's it. That's just the way it goes in a automotive, industry.
Well, that's the way it goes for blue collar workers, man. That's, you go to work, you work your butt off, and then you come home and you try and get a moment of peace before you have to go back and work your butt off again.
Exactly. It's so fucking, it's just like Groundhog Day, man,
Yeah.
But, I really do appreciate you. And I did send you a little something a couple of days ago through PayPal. I don't know if you got that, but I even put on there, I hope you get a pizza out of this.
Yeah. Yeah, you said $10, right?
What's that?
$10?
PayPal?
$10.
What the fuck is that?
$10.
$10? Oh, yeah. I thought you were fucking saying I thought you were fucking telling me a different way to pay it. I'm like, what the fuck is $10 now? Shit. But yeah, I did that. I was just like, because, like I said, right now, I haven't been making any money, so that's all I could spare right now.
Oh, that's super generous of you, Michelle. I mean, I wouldn't ask anybody for help, because I know that there's a lot of people who, we're all tight, and I wouldn't be asking for help if I didn't need it. And
I know that, Mike, and I know you're sincere about it, and that's why I'm like, I'll make a sacrifice. Because I'm still eating bologna sandwiches. I live within my means. Even when I go back to work, I'm still going to do the same fucking thing, because you know what? It's enough for me. I don't have to go and show up like my coworkers, but they have to go and bring a lunch from this restaurant or that restaurant. They kind of look at me like, bologna sandwich again? I was like, yeah, you want some? It's like that fucking fills me with a bag of chips, and I don't give a fuck. I'm good. It's like, give me my can of Monster and call it a day. Get the fuck out of my life,
Yeah, this
too. If you don't like eating bologna sandwiches, you go ahead and buy me some fucking lunch then.
This is what I do. This is who I am. What, you giving me a hard time about who I am? Give me a break. Go away.
And you know what, Mike? That's what integrity is. God dang it. That's what I tell you. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of girl. I go over there, take care of my business. When somebody needs help, integrity kicks in again. Hey, I'm there to help you out. You need this, whatever, I got your back. They want to come and talk about other people. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about other people. And yet, I'm not going to talk about them to other people. That's integrity as well. You got your morals, you got your values. You know what you need to do. My family is struggling back in Ohio, so I make sure I send them money every month. That's why I'm grateful for the job that I have, but it pisses me off when corporate takes advantage of that shit, when they're making money hands over fist after all the sacrifices that we gave them, and then they turn around and it's like, you know what? We're going to worry about our shareholders, and not so much of the people who are actually fucking making this work. You know, day in and day out, we're repetitive work. It's like it doesn't stop. Everybody gets mad because, oh, you work at GM, so you're making good money. You would not stand a chance in a fucking place like that. The way they treat you, the way they're like fucking look down on you and shit like that, and the way they're like, do this job, you got your fucking supervisors acting like, you know, they're gonna crack a whip on you if God forbid you have to go to the bathroom or anything. It's just like, God damn, I'm a human. You know, I'm a human being. If I gotta go to the bathroom, motherfucker, you're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna fucking go. If you don't have anybody to cover for me, that's your fucking problem, you know? Because what, you want me to stand there and piss myself?
You gotta,
You know?
you gotta treat people like they're human and like you care about the fact that they're human. Otherwise, you know, it's just a slavery thing, man.
And that's what it is. It's modern day slavery, the way they're treating the temporary workers. And that's one of the things that we fought for.
Yeah.
But hey, look, they're working shoulder to shoulder with us. That's
Yeah.
where the UAW comes into play. And so they should be getting paid the same thing as we do. It's not about, damn, they just started. They shouldn't be getting the same wage as us. No, they should. And the union shop, they fucking deserve it. And I've always been for it, you know, because it's not right. They have families too.
Yeah, everybody's got to be able to support their families. Otherwise, what's the point in having a damn job?
And you know what? And that's it right there. They take advantage all the way across this fucking country. They're taking advantage of temporary workers. It's not temporary anymore. They're called permanently temporary because the corporate makes out on that. They don't have to pay their fucking health wage.
Yeah.
They don't have health care.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay them fair wages. They don't have to give them vacation time. They are mandatory. You better be here because one day a supervisor may have a stick up their ass and say, you know what? You're a test. You're out of here. You know? And it's just like that's not the way it's supposed to be in a union shop. And that's the way it is across the world. And that's why we fucking turn around and we're just like, you know what, we're gonna strike. Not only for the temporaries that work here at GM, but the temporaries all the way across the board. They all need to realize that they need to be fucking permanent. If you need them there more than 90 days, motherfucker, they are permanent. They deserve the same fucking rights as we do.
You're absolutely right, Michelle. I agree 100%. Hey, there's somebody trying to call again. I want to see if we can get another caller.
No problem, buddy. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, good luck with everything.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
See ya. All right. So to the caller, I just kicked Michelle off again for the caller. So try and call back again, please. And because we don't want to get Michelle mad that I kicked her off for no reason. Hello, caller.
Yeah, your shit is annoying.
Well, thank you. So is yours.
Yeah.
That all you got?
Yep, she talks too much.
You know what? I mean, she got a lot to say. She's wrapped up pretty tight, it sounds like, and she wants to get some of that out. I mean, and I think it's a good outlet to give people the chance to like say what she's not doing this at work. She's not doing this to the people at the store. That's what this platform is all about, and she's using it to its best.
Blah.
But okay, good luck. Thanks so much for calling. Because people who can do and people who can't criticize. That's what I've found. People who can do, people who can't talk shit, are jealous because they're jealous of the people who can.
Your caller just hung up.
Well, why the fuck? Hello, caller?
Shit. Get a job and fucking live.
Yeah. What a pussy that guy is. Hello, caller.
Michelle again.
Yeah, the guy was annoying, right?
I
Like,
know,
I mean,
man,
it's
but
like, this is what,
okay. I just caught what Jackie had said, something about if I'm afraid of automation, taking over automotive industry work,
uh-huh.
And it's like, it's funny that she would mention that because
Is Jackie
when
Cat in here?
the government, Obama, turned around and gave GM the bailout, you know what they used that money for?
Jackie Cat.
They used it for fucking automation, man.
Yeah.
They didn't use it to build, to open more plants. They didn't use it for nothing. They used it for automation. But the point is that I'm not afraid of that because there's a lot of jobs that are so detailed that a robot can't take over. And yes, maybe in the future that's going to be the case, but I'm kind of like a day-to-day kind of person
Yeah.
that if they do come and take my job, which I don't think any robot can take my job until they learn how to smoke weed and they learn how to fucking drink beer. I don't care, So if that happens, it happens, but I'm not going to be scared of that. I'm still going to go in. I'm still going to do my job. I'm going to take care of what I have to. And if it comes down, I mean, I know jobs have been cut off. Jobs have been fucking, we got this robot doing this and that. I see that all the time because the plant that I work in, we're the only plant in America that makes these SUVs, and we make the Tahoes, the fucking, the Escalades, the Suburbans and shit. The thing that we got working for us is that as long as they're NBA stars and all these celebrities that want these Escalades, we're the most profitable company in the world, Whenever you see that shit on TV, any kind of Suburban from fucking, GM, that's us. And, of course they're going to fucking try to cut down jobs because that's their number one thing, Let's go ahead and fucking let a robot do this. That way we ain't got to pay that robot. We got an electrician to take care of that shit. But if you live like that, it's going to be a scary world. So I try not to think about that shit, I just feel as long as I go and do my job, then I still have my job. And if they want to replace me with a robot, then so be it. But I can't be scared of that shit,
No, it doesn't do any good to be afraid, Michelle. I mean, walk around with this constant fear, which is what they want us to do, will only lower your IQ. That's and I believe that's part of the reason that they want us to be afraid. I think if you're afraid, you turn to strong leaders. People who we got to fight them over there, so we don't have to fight them here. Kind of people. And you fall in line if you're afraid. Somebody who's a strong leader telling you what to do, you fucking fall in line. And I think it also makes people better consumers too. I think that when they're afraid, they they'll make purchases that they otherwise would not.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, we have the same threat as our jobs going to another country. So that threat has always been hanging over my head. So I'm like accustomed to it.
Yeah.
I'm accustomed to it because you know what? They got a GM plant too that they actually have people that stood up for us as well and strike with us as well because they wanted, their workers to say, hey, we need you to step up the fucking, the numbers. We need you to fucking make up for this shit. They fired fucking like 9 people in Mexico because they stood up with the union.
Yeah.
Even though they don't have any fucking rights, but they stood up with us. And it's just like, thank you, because we're all in this together. But when it comes to that shit, and like you said, I can't fucking think about, maybe there's going to be a robot that's going to replace me. Well, you know what? That's the way it is. Because the corporate greed is insane. It's out of control now. When they can give the first woman CEO of General Motors a $20 million goddamn bonus every fucking year, and they look at us like, no, we want to keep your wages stagnant. It's like we started fucking looking at this shit like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We gave up all this fucking sacrifice. We gave up money for this shit just to keep this plant open.
Yeah.
And instead of them sharing the profits, they turn around and said, oh, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You're making billions as in a B as in boy,
Yeah.
I mean, you're telling us that when we sacrifice to keep you afloat, this is what you do. And so then you get the government bailout and you still turn around and fuck us over by spending all that money and buying their share, their shares. They bought their shares. They bought so much fucking shares.
Yeah.
That they just turn around and say, fuck you, workers. That's the only reason why we're at strike. It's just like, this is insane.
It's not fair at all, and that's the thing is, I mean, people don't really want that much. They just want to feel like somehow they're being treated even a tiny bit fairly, and clearly that is not what's happening in today's world.
And it's not.
Yeah, and we deserve better, and we deserve better.
We all do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're fighting for, the temporary workers that we're working side by side. It's not just us. We are helping to eliminate the permanent temporary workers all across the board. Because people need to see that, and they need to wake up to where, no, it's not right. You don't want to pay their health care. They have families too. How would you like to go into work day in and day out doing the same fucking job and not knowing if the supervisor is going to have a bad day and just say, you know what? I don't like the way you bend over and pick that part up. You're fired, and you ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
You cannot because you're a temp. It's a scary fucking life,
Yeah.
And that's what we were fighting for. That's what we are fighting for.
Yeah.
Because it's not right. And then
we deserve better. It's not just that it's not right. We deserve better.
Exactly, because if you can give all those CEOs all these goddamn millions and millions of fucking dollars when they're sitting there and, what's the danger that they had? They had, oh my God, I got a paper cut. Motherfuckers, look at what we're doing. We do dangerous work.
Yeah.
Repetitive. It hurts from head to
we're the
toe.
ones breaking our back, and you guys are sitting there in your big fat fucking office chairs.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Michelle, I gotta let somebody else come through, okay?
No, I'm not calling back, Mike.
Okay, Michelle. Well, I'm glad you did call back. So it's nice to hear from you.
Right.
Bye.
Okay, get 'em.
Okay, let's see if we can get this caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm a big fan, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's your name?
My name is Frank.
Hey, Frank.
And
It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. Great. One subject I want to talk to you about today, that is Tulsi Gabbard and Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
So, first of all, I imagine you have some thoughts on this. Where do you stand overall?
It's the worst lesbian porno ever.
Yeah. I can't imagine a worse one.
No, but what I love Tulsi Gabbard. I love Tulsi Gabbard. I am disgusted by Hillary Clinton. I believe that a huge percentage of the country is disgusted by Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton is one of the most despised figures in American political history.
Yes.
And for some reason, some people can't get that through their thick fucking skulls. And that's the 100% of the reason that Donald Trump is currently in the White House.
You are absolutely right. And the craziest thing is that she might be running again. She might actually be going for it again.
I got to tell you, Frank, I got to tell you, I just don't think there's any way that's going to happen. And I'll tell you, there's just no way Hillary Clinton is going to put herself in a position to be spanked twice by Donald Trump. Right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not convinced either way. I see that side of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough. So the one thing I just wanted to add is just as much coverage as possible, because I really do rely on you getting as much of the original source material, cutting through a lot of the spin, a lot of the secondhand doctored, edited material, getting a lot of just the raw original material. So as much as possible on the Tulsi Gabbard, Hillary Clinton stuff, because that is just really, it's burning me up right now.
It's so wonderful to hear the words that Hillary Clinton is the personification of rot that's destroying the Democratic Party. I mean, it's just like nobody else has the guts to say anything like that. Certainly not nobody else running for president, except for maybe Trump.
Yeah.
So
I disagree with Tulsi Gabbard on a lot of things. I can't say that I'll be voting for her, but I strongly agree with her on that point.
and it's so good to hear those words spoken. That's what I'm saying. I think regardless of who you're going to vote for, regardless of what you think of Tulsi Gabbard, she deserves a tip. She deserves a donation because she brought those words into the fucking dialogue, and otherwise they never would have been spoken. That Hillary Clinton is the personification of rot that is destroying the Democratic Party, and no words were ever truer spoken. That's what I'm saying.
You are dead right.
So everybody owes her a donation, even if it's $1, just because like I'm saying, it fills me with just joy to hear those words spoken, you know. And I think that even if you're not a Tulsi supporter, even if you're not, you know, whatever, you know, I'm not good with these label things. You owe her a donation. She just did something amazing.
Tulsi Gabbard's line about Hillary is so correct. Because, you know, the way Hillary positions herself, if you don't agree with her specifically, with her exact position, you're a Russian asset.
Yeah.
It's not like if you disagree with the Democratic Party, you're a Russian asset. If you disagree with their foreign policy, you're a Russian asset. If you disagree with the Clintons, you're a Russian asset.
And when she says Russian asset, what she really is saying is traitor to this country. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. And once again, I don't agree with Tulsi Gabbard's policies, but she is a veteran. I respect her service. She is not a traitor to this country.
No, and she's so wonderful for having brought this dialogue into the conversation, and so correct about Hillary Clinton being a warmonger, and nobody else talks like that. I mean, this is the best individual to take on Donald Trump. End of story. She did the same thing to Kamala Harris in just a few sentences also. Kamala Harris' complete campaign was almost utterly destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard in like 2 minutes time.
Yeah, she did a number to Kamala. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining who would beat Trump right now.
Tulsi
might be the one.
That is exactly what she would do to Donald Trump. I mean, she lays out the facts, and then she just leaves no room for. I mean, the thing about Hillary Clinton being the personification of rot and the Tulsi being a Russian asset thing is that all these people, these talking heads, the prostitutes, they all come out and they discuss this, right? They say what has been said by both of them, and then they say, is that fair to call Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset? Like in some alternative universe, it could possibly actually be fair to make that charge, which again is basically accusing someone of treason. But they never look into the camera and say, is Hillary Clinton the personification of rot that's destroying the Democratic Party? Or is Hillary Clinton the queen of the warmongers? They never ask that question, which just shows, I mean, the sickness, the reason that everything is so fucked up is because they just look at it from this one angle that like Hillary Clinton is untouchable, and we're not going to say a single fucking thing negative ever about her.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That's the archetype of the corrupt system. But I will say, I think there are some signs that things are changing. Maybe not, nothing's sure yet. Nothing has changed yet, but there are some signs that things are starting to change. Tulsi Gabbard's statement is one of them. A major contender for the Democratic primary making such a bold statement about corruption within the Democratic Party.
I think
You know, like,
I
in
think
the
that there
fa-
is change in the wind. I can kind of smell it too, and but I don't feel it coming real soon.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you know, just in the face of the blatant corruption of Joe Biden, like, none of the other candidates are really calling it out at this point. It's it's the same story over again, the same story. But I don't know. I guess I'm an optimist.
Well,
I like to hope there will be change.
no, I like I said, I can feel it. I can smell it in the air. I can sense that there is something big happening, and and it's not just that it's that the people are in a different attitude. Is that we're kind of at our backs to the wall, and that we can't be pushed any further, against the wall, because this is as far as the wall goes. So there's like a pushback that's about to happen, but I'm just afraid it's not going to be that big a one. It's just like a correction in the stock market or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Better a small correction than a big one. Some people these days are talking about a civil war. I don't want to see that happen. I'd rather
Anarchy!
see
Anarchy!
market correction. Yeah. I don't want to see that route.
Well,
is that something I don't know. How far would you support?
Well, I have this. If you go back to the beginning of this YouTube page, if you go to the first video posted, I have the presidential campaign that I ran last season, and it says that I don't know where this is going to lead to. It may lead to torches and guillotines, and the reason is because the people have had enough, and it's as if the politicians and the elite can't hear it or don't give a fuck. And if they don't start to hear it and they don't start to give a fuck, there's a good chance it's going to be torches and pitchforks and guillotines. So,
Well, yeah. There's always been some truth to that. No republic lasts forever.
And this one is an empire that's way overextended. And I really think that the founders of the Constitution expected there to be another revolution. I think they probably expected it way before this one, or there's not one going on now. But I think they really expected there to be another revolution, because that's the spirit. That's the spirit from which this government, this country was founded. Revolution.
Well,
that's who we are.
I think they expected it, but I don't know that they necessarily wanted it.
I think they built it into the Constitution.
I think the Constitution exceeded expectations. The Constitution has done an amazing job at providing a stable form of government that provides a decent amount of liberty to its citizens. It's not perfect, but it's better than just about everything else.
I love the
Constitution. A long time.
I love the Constitution. I'm a big supporter of the Constitution. I talk about the Constitution a lot, and I think that the founding fathers were actually quite brilliant in what they did. I think when they put the First Amendment, and they said, you have the right to be free. You have the right to express yourself, because that is the essence of freedom. You have the never-ending right to do that. And second, first you have that right, and second, no one is ever going to take that right away from you without your permission. and that's why I believe that they expected a revolution, is because they put that shall not be infringed in there as a way of saying, you know what, when you've had enough of this government, you can take it out.
Well, I think that prevents revolutions. I think the Second Amendment, it makes it hard for a government to ever become so tyrannical that it would warrant a revolution. Because they know when they take that step, there's the guy with the gun right there.
Right.
It works in the passive effect.
Right. No, it's like I keep saying, it's like, when Barack Obama was a president, I kept saying, they keep telling us that they don't want to take our guns, that we're not coming to take your guns. And I kept saying, and you know why they're not coming to take our guns? Because we have motherfucking guns. That's why they're not coming to take our guns. If they thought that they could come and take our guns and absolutely no one would get hurt, they would have done it long ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the political will to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's all just double speak. We deserve just so much better, man. That's all I'm saying. Where are you calling from?
I'm up north. I'm in Northern California.
Right on. That sounds like a nice neighborhood. Is a fire getting close to you?
Kind of close. Smoky, but no actual danger from the fires.
Well, that's good. It sounds pretty hairy down there. The news makes everything sound hairy, though.
Yeah, it's always a bit overblown.
All right. Well, did you want to talk about something else?
I think just Hillary Clinton, Tulsi Gabbard was my main thing. Just as much coverage as you can get on that.
I will.
Thank you so much, man. Really, I watch your YouTube channel a lot. Thanks, and I owe you a debt of gratitude.
Right on. Well, if you can kick down for a pizza sometime, that'd be awesome.
All right, I might just do that.
Right on.
You have a great day.
All right, you too. And I think that's a fair trade. Don't you guys think that? I mean, you hear the people talk about how much Mox News means to them. And all I've ever asked is that, if you guys could kick down for pizza, that'd be awesome. Actually, earlier I was saying I need $20 to get dirt. Because I can start my garden if I get $20. So that would be really cool. But all I've ever really asked for is pizza money, because I like pizza. And I think that's fair trade. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, am I on?
Yes, you are on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh gosh. So you know what? I had problems with my phone. I'm using Google Hangouts, and there's like a 30-second delay. That's why I called before, and I hung up, but then you answered. You know what? I'm gonna call back. Even though the sound quality on this is good, I'm going to call back on a different phone because I can't talk with a 30-second delay and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Thanks for calling. That was interesting. We haven't had that kind of a call before. So, let's see. I got to drink water, man. Remember to stay hydrated. Very important. All right. We are at 2 hours and 32 minutes and counting. All right, I'm pressing one. I press one. Hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going?
I am good. How is you doing?
Good, yeah. This is the place to be tonight. Is on Mox News.
It's interesting, huh?
I had a thoughts. I was watching you on this live stream, and I was thinking, what if someday you became the host of C-SPAN, Washington Journal?
I think that would be really cool. I don't think there's another television program that I would rather host.
Yeah, Same here. It is really cool. People who say C-SPAN is boring suck, and they're just lying. But especially the call-in parts, Washington Journal. Yeah, so I guess your topic is what is integrity? And I mean, besides like being consistent, and I can tell you what's not integrity is Hunter Biden. That's not integral. And what's not integrity is like how the Democrats ran the 2016 campaign and the shenanigans that they did with Bernie Sanders, showing the super delegates, even though they said in the rules that they're not supposed to show them on the television sets and stuff like that. So just a lot of things. I mean, it sounds like it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. A lot of people call in, a lot of frustration. I think, we feel that potential for some change in the wind. I mean, part of me feels like I don't want to depend on like a politician to, bring change, but we are in a representative government, and, and you could use a politician to bring about change. I mean, I can imagine like, if Tulsi Gabbard won, there would be a lot of positive change. It might not be everything that I was looking for, but there would be a lot of things I'm looking for.
It seems like a step in the right direction, huh?
Yes, it does. A lot of the forever wars would probably end.
Including the forever war on drugs.
Well, that's a war as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm so tired of war profiteers, especially drug war profiteers, who put people in cages just so they can make money, man. It's just so not right. It just and the outcome of the drug war is a fucking opioid epidemic. You know what I mean? It's just not. We deserve better. Go ahead.
Well, you know who gave a great speech on, the war on drugs and just your rights, your sovereignty of being able to, do what you want with your own body is Graham Hancock. He's like the guy that's known for the pyramids and like all, just a lot of other archaeological stuff. But he's also like a passionate, civil libertarian, I would say. And you'd have to search for it on YouTube, but he like just laid it out like in 3 minutes about just, it's kind of some of the Joe Rogan arguments as well. I think I've heard him say it's just, I'm a sovereign person on this planet, that has been around for who knows how long, trillions, gazillions, and it won't be around for that much longer. And we're just on this planet and this miracle of life. And like, you're telling me I can't do what I want. Like, if I want to experience what it's like to have an acid trip, or maybe I just want to take a microdose of something. Maybe I want to, smoke some weed or, whatever. I don't know. I mean, maybe I just want to chew on a cocoa leaf, but I don't want the processed stuff, and maybe I just want to do that once a month or something like that. I mean, who knows? There's so many possibilities, and so you're going to, as long as I'm not hurting anyone else, and you have the nerve not only to tell me, no, you can't do that, like you're going to die never knowing, like, all these wonderful things, and I understand people can abuse stuff like that and offer treatment and moderation and maybe that's not the way to go, but it's our right to fail. It's our right to succeed. So I just want to live in a freaking renaissance, man. I mean, this is like, there was a renaissance in the past. We're not in the worst of times, but unless if you're like, somewhere in the Middle East, but I think that's what it could be so much better. And so, I mean, maybe like if you watch football, like sometimes you see the running back with the ball and he's fighting against the defensive line, and then also the offensive line just goes behind the running back and like pushes them over regardless of like, the fragility of the running back's body. Like they're just, they want to get those 7 or 6 points. And so they're just going to, just battle ram him through. And, he's just kind of like the sacrificial ball holder or whatever. And I guess you could treat a politician like that. Like none of these politicians, Tulsi, Bernie, or Yang, and even Elizabeth Warren, they're not fully perfect. Like all of them have faults, all of them have stuff that I don't, like, but they also have a lot of stuff that I do like, and I don't really know them personally, so it's hard to judge. But it's like any of them would probably be a major change candidates, and at least send a message to the powers that be, Washington D.C., and just let them know that like change is coming, and so. I don't know. There's just a lot of possibilities, a lot of different, quantum leaps that we can jump into.
I just don't think. I really think that the debates are going to be incredibly important in this presidential cycle, and I don't think that that any of the candidates. I mean, maybe Andrew Yang and maybe Tulsi Gabbard have a chance at really beating Donald Trump. I really think what Tulsi Gabbard has shown with this thing with Hillary Clinton and the thing with Kamala Harris was just in just a few minutes, with just a few sentences, she can destroy your campaign. She can destroy the illusion that is, I'm a great man or I'm a great politician. No, you're the personification of rot that's destroying the Democratic Party. Bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see any of the other candidates. When you listen to Elizabeth Warren speak, she got this constant trembling in her voice, especially if it's anything where she's like, like it's really meaningful to her. It's like she's almost about to start crying or something. And it really affects me in a negative way. I don't see that as strong, unfortunately. And I think that on a debate stage against someone like Donald Trump, that's going to be crushed. And Bernie Sanders, although since the heart attack has looked much better, I think this campaign has not looked like the same person that he was in 2016.
Well, I would say, whoever is ahead majorly by Super Tuesday, that's probably, and we'll kind of get a feel for it by Super Tuesday. I mean, there's still plenty of time to do lots of different things. I mean, even with Yang, he has this gun policy thing that I don't really like. I'm totally for the UBI. But he does focus more on the root causes of, poverty and desperation and stuff like that as the cause for gun violence, which is good. But I'm not really with the licensing, because then it becomes more like a privilege instead of a right, even though I do think people should do more training. So, but he probably would never pass in Congress what the other presidents haven't been able to pass anyways. So I'm not so much worried about that. But, but even if whoever it is, let's say it is Andrew Yang, you can either think of it as him using us as his supports and getting donations to catapult him forward, or we can think of it as we could learn a lot for Donald Trump. I mean, he's not the ideal candidate, but he was used. I mean, he was used to send a message to the system that we would rather have Donald Trump than Hillary Clinton. And now it's time. Trump has pretty much done his job, and it's time for him to go. And as long as it's not Biden or
right,
like that.
Message sent. Basically, we sent the message. Now we can do better than that. And I think that's kind of a point of integrity. Also, is that I think that the vast majority of people that were voting for Donald Trump know that he's a buffoon. Or knew that he was, and expected very little from him, but they had so much integrity that they were no way they were going to sell their fucking soul and vote for fucking Hillary Clinton, who is one of the most despised figures in American political history.
She hates competition. I mean, she doesn't want to give you a choice. Like, she's putting up false choices. For competition is something we don't have. I mean, how many internet service providers do you get to choose? Less and less every day, it seems like. I mean, how many political parties do we have? Like, every other major first world country has at least 4, competitive political parties, and they also have, they have less corruption. I don't think they have it all. They probably do have less First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, and maybe even Fourth Amendment rights, but they are better in some other areas as well. And so there's absolutely no competition. They hate competition. They force like independents and change candidates to infiltrate the Democrats and the Republicans. And so that's kind of like what Trump did. To me, he's really kind of like an independent, although he's gone fully Republican now, because he's been kind of forced in a corner politically, I think, and he has to be with them. I mean, I wonder if he really thinks like, because, I mean, he was for getting out of the wars. He's just shifting troops. He was against the drug war at one time. He was for Medicare for all. But, I mean, he hasn't acted on that at all. I mean, he did free some people, for drug offenses. But, I mean, nothing that's like anything to write home about really too much. So he confuses me. I wonder, sometimes I wonder what's going on in Trump's mind. But,
I think a lot of people wonder that, I think a lot of people wonder that, which is understandable. I mean, the guy is all over the place. But I think it's a lot hard. I think that he probably has tried to do some things that are what he set out, who he said he was going to be when he started this. But I have never liked the man. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for 16 years, and I've been covering him for at least 14 of those years. And he's just not a guy that's likable. You know what I mean? If you have integrity, he's just, he's not somebody that you would want floating around your general space. So, yeah.
And you're right. The thought just popped in my head. Like, I mean, I think people are awake. I mean, if you look at polls, like, I saw The Hill, they did a poll on how many people trust traditional outlets, and it was like 72% thinks the, media is dishonest to a degree, and Congress, have like a really low approval rating for a very long time.
Right.
And so you have these polls, like people know what's up. I mean, most people wanted to keep net neutrality, and I mean, gosh, that guy that Trump kept, the Jeet pie guy. I mean, oh God, like that's the guy you just want to throw a pie in his face. I mean, it's crazy. And that Betsy DeVos, I mean, that's just like, straight swamp. I mean, yeah, she's qualified to be the education secretary, and, he's looking out for the people's best interests. So yeah, he did his job. It's time for him to go. But, there's a real potential here. I mean, we could, kind of go a little farther than, gradual change. I mean, it could be a little bit exponential. I mean, it won't be everything that we want, but whether we get Medicare for all or whether we get a UBI, that will be a big step up, and someone who respects privacy rights. I mean, and just basically less corruption, and who's not going to do stuff between closed doors, and it's going to be more transparent and stuff like that. And then that will be a big opening, like kind of like how people say Trump enables, certain people to act certain ways. A positive candidate would also enable people. And so it wouldn't be just about that candidate, but if they actually won, that could possibly motivate and inspire a bunch of other candidates, like AOC types, but from all different spectrums of the political sphere. So I don't know. It's I think we have a chance to get whether Andrew Yang brings it to fruition or not. We can possibly do it with Congress. The universal basic income would be great. So that coupled with Medicare for all. I mean, the world would change tomorrow. I mean, you just have no one, like today I was driving along and I gave, this guy $2 who was like asking for, some change. And I mean, just imagine that guy, who is like, hasn't showered in like, I don't know, months, and dirty clothes, holding up a cardboard sign in a busy street intersection, just asking for some change, getting $1,000 a month, or, having free healthcare. I mean, how would that change that person's life? And then just think about the entire country. We'd have a trickle up economy, and it's, it's something that's possible. People can use Andrew Yang, even if you don't like him fully, or, if you support Bernie Sanders or Tulsi, we can use these change candidates and really, kind of have them as like the tip of the spear of a movement. It's not about them, but, at that moment, they're the tip of the spear, because we have to be organized. I mean, we have to have some kind of community and network and stuff like that. And you kind of do build that around different candidates and stuff. And even after they, are no longer running, if they don't win, like Ron Paul or Bernie Sanders, like that network is still there. I mean, after the 2016 candidates, campaign, look at the YouTube channels that have gotten that gained like hundreds of thousands of subscribers being surrogates for Bernie Sanders, like David Pacman, Stan Cedar, Kyle Kalinske, all these people, and some people on the right too, what's that one guy that always wears the beanie? Tim something, I forgot his name, Timcast or whatever. So there's all these people, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. It's growing and growing, and so those are focal points too, where people can kind of push an agenda. So, we just it's eternal vigilance and just keep on keeping on. So I hope you keep on keeping on, Mike.
Thanks. I'm hard to get rid of, man. They've been trying to get rid of me. I keep on. I have a motto that's march or die, So those are the two options. So I'll keep on going. Don't worry.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good night. And I think I'm out of topics right now. But
well, thanks so much for calling. I'm glad that you added your 2 cents to the discussion. I think that was really good.
Cool. Awesome. Take care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes, and we are counting down to the end of this show. Wilco, you ready? If anybody else wants to call, you are more than welcome to do so. I'm not trying to cut anybody off here. I am just letting you know that we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I think we're getting close to ready to call it here, maybe. I think. And I did just post a Tulsi Gabbard video while we were doing this live show. And that's what it is that I do. Okay. We're doing a live show, and I'm actually capturing and then editing and then rendering and then uploading and then publishing a Tulsi Gabbard video while I'm doing this too. Okay. That's a real newsman right there. Okay. So, Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
I have one question for you, though. Why you keep complaining about everything?
Is that what I keep doing?
Yeah, that's what you keep doing. You complain about every single thing, though. I mean, come on.
Like what?
You can be doing that.
Like what? Like what did I complain about? Okay. Yes, all I do is complain. You complain. Actually, what I do is I say, that we deserve better. I don't think that that's necessarily a complaint. I'm just stating what I see as facts. I see a very overworked and underappreciated, underpaid populace, and it's time that we began to speak out about that. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, it's Jackie Cat.
Hi, Jackie Cat.
Hi, honey. I just wanted to call and say goodnight to everybody, and I wanted to tell you a funny story that happened to me. It's true.
Okay.
So a couple days ago, I heard about what Hillary Clinton said about Tulsi Gabbard.
Uh-huh.
Well, she insinuated, I guess, if we're getting technical, right? And it made me so mad, that I took my tablet in my hand and I went to Tulsi.org or whatever the heck she's got, and I sent her $5. And I'm actually kind of undecided, but I love what Tulsi says. That's anti-war stuff, despite the CFR and all this. I don't know, but I wonder how many people might have felt that way. I don't know that I'm typical in any way, but I think it might have helped her popularity. I'll be interested to see in the next few weeks, months, what happens with her.
I think that a lot of people probably heard about her for the first time because the media is doing their best to hide her. You know, they have Amy Klobuchar, which who the fuck is Amy Klobuchar, on every news channel 3 times a day. And then they go, oh, Amy Klobuchar just made it for the debate. We'll give that same press to Tulsi Gabbard and let's see what happens. She'll be fucking president, man.
Well, I know I've heard you like her. I like her too. I really do. I think Yang is interesting. I don't know if we vote for Yang for the UBI. Is that like playing our new $1,000 fiddle while Rome burns? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
I would hate to make the decision just on some kind of a promise that I'm going to give you money. Vote for me because I'm going to give you money. I guess that's what most basic Republicans win on. I'm going to cut your taxes. I'm going to give you money, But I just think that there's got to be something, way more important than that,
Well, yeah, I have a point about that. But, as a hippie sort of person myself, I guess I kind of look around at people I know and love, and even you, Moxie, and I'll think like, hey, it'd be, that would be cool for people who are struggling to have $1,000, and they could be more creative and give more to the community. And
it would make
stuff like that. I'd like to spend more time at the hospice down the street volunteering, and it's hard because I work a lot. So I don't know, stuff like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, no,
I think I don't know, maybe.
I think it's a great idea. I love the idea of universal basic income. If that's the only reason that people are voting for Andrew Yang, it's almost like he's buying their vote. You know what I mean? And I hate the idea of that because that's kind of what.
I think when I first heard about him, I thought about that. He has an interesting idea for healthcare. I don't know that most people would like it. But he wanted to set up like something like a Cleveland Clinic situation with doctors who are actually on a salary so that seeing more patients isn't necessarily an incentive. Yeah. Writing more prescriptions is not an incentive. Just the outcomes of the patients are an incentive. And I really like that. And that would be his, I guess, vision for people who are uninsured. And that eventually people would prefer this to health insurance.
I like Andrew Yang a lot. I really do. It's not, and it's not just the $1,000 thing. It's I like that he doesn't wear a tie everywhere. You know what I mean? That just makes him another one of those guys. So I think it's really good that he doesn't do that. I wish Donald Trump didn't wear a fucking tie everywhere, but it'd probably just make him look more fat if he didn't wear a tie or something. I don't know.
Well, it is a weird tie, to be honest.
Yeah. So, what's
somebody please explain to me, somebody in the chat or something, give me a link. What is this business that Tulsi's going to take our guns? Really? Is anybody really going to do? I think Beto said he was going to do that, right?
Yeah, Beto's going to come. Beto's going to come kick down your front door and take your guns. Goddamn right, I'm going to take your guns.
That's not going to work out well for them.
That's not. That is not a well thought out plan. No, it is not.
It's really not.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear you laugh, Jackie Cat. Thanks so much.
Thank you, dear.
Thanks so much.
You guys, everybody have a good night.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Get yourself that pizza sometime.
I always smile when I see that you're here. It's always nicer when you're here, Jackie Cat.
Aw, thanks. Good night, everybody.
Bye. And again, everybody, this is just the people. I love doing this, being able to connect with you guys, being able to share our thoughts. And this is what YouTube is actually meant to be, is us all being able to share our thoughts. That's what Mox News has always been about, is us being able to have these discussions. And whatever, the current management at YouTube has done, which is, is currently censoring approximately 50% of comments. That is not what YouTube is supposed to be about. And YouTube needs new management desperately. And I don't know why Google can't hear this. And I don't know why Google doesn't care about this. But YouTube needs new management. Okay? We deserve better. This is the world's most giant soapbox that anyone can get on. But we deserve better, because you're fucking that soapbox. You're fucking this platform. You're mismanaging it horribly. And if I could, that is one job that I would really love to be able to focus a lot of energy on, is turning YouTube back into something great again. So if you're looking for a new manager at Google, let me know, because I can do that. I can show you. It would be very easy. We just backstep, 10 years, and YouTube would be amazing. It would be fantastic. People would be so happy with it, instead of right now where it's at, where people absolutely hate it, which I think is part of your plan, YouTube management. You want people to be angry and hate and be irritated by YouTube, as opposed to it being the greatest platform on the web. That's a really fucked up thing that you have in your head. Okay? We deserve better. That's all I'm saying. You ready, Wilco? All right, you guys. We are on that. We just hit the 3 hour and 1 minute mark. I think that's the longest of the shows that we've been doing on the concurrent process that we've been going through during this last little, shall we say, campaign. But we're going to do this every day, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Okay? Monday through Friday, same Mox time, same Mox channel. Okay? And it's always nicer when you're here. So I hope that you are be sure to tune in tomorrow. I don't know what the discussion will entail, but I'm really glad that I asked about integrity, because I think that it actually struck a chord with a lot of the callers. That that's something that does matter to people still. And even if we don't see it, everywhere in society, like it should be, like in the pillars of society, in the police, and in the politicians, in the medical community, we just, the integrity is not there anymore. There's just this, everything is money. But hopefully, like we said, like we were discussing, we are headed a better direction. The change is in the air, and we are going to find, we're going to be able to, work on a future that's better for all of us. Hello, caller. Hello.
Why you were making fun of my accent?
I'm not making fun of your accent.
Yes,
you have the biggest chip on your shoulder. You have the biggest. Oh, I'm so much smarter than you are.
Four languages, and you only speak one language, and here you are making fun of my accent.
I did not do that.
One fucking language, bitch.
I didn't do that.
Why are you making fun of my accent?
You are the only one making fun of you. So you know.
No, you were making fun of my accent.
You make you look like a complete moron. Okay? So good luck with that, and good night. that's unfortunate. I don't remember making fun of anyone. Do you guys remember me making fun of someone? Because that seems to have slipped my mind. I suppose it's a possibility, but I certainly don't remember that. I'm not here to make fun of people. As I've said again and again throughout the last 3 weeks, you know, I'm here to bring us all together. I'm here because we deserve something better. And that has nothing to do with making fun of anyone. I'm here saying we have to sidestep the anger. We have to sidestep the hate. We have to come together. We have to forget these labels. You know, so it's nice to hear from all of you. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we will do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope that brings a smile to some of you guys' faces. And we'll see what we can make happen then, okay? So thanks so much for tuning in, because without you guys, this would be completely meaningless. I mean that. I don't know how much more clear I can make that. And also, Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you, who I know are good people. I haven't gotten any donations tonight, but I know you're good people. I'm not talking to you, Woko. And I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that we're doing this. I'm just saying, when I say, I didn't get any donations, it's because I do believe that you're good people, and I do believe that that you would want to know that if I wasn't getting something back, so because good people, I believe, would want to know that. So that's the reason I share that with you. I'm not complaining. I'm very glad that you're here, and I'm very glad that we're doing this, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Okay, so stay cool, because one of these days this war has got to end. So stay cool until that day. All right. Thanks for tuning in.